Welcome in to a Super Bowl Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live,
Holiday.
driven here in power, and it should be. It should be a federal holiday.
It really should.
By Ghost Chevrolet, welcome
Here
into
we
the
are.
Jordy Culotta Show, live on this Monday morning. I mean, I do a show, but I mean, it should be a
for
federal
sure.
holiday. Lizzie is here. The Carpool Queen is here. Stewie is here, live on this Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, as we said. Our friends over at Ghost Chevrolet, powering us every single day, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. Stop in and see them online, or you can see them in Laplace, Louisiana for brand new cars, and out in Baton Rouge, Go Express Auto Sales, located on Sherwood Forest and Florida Boulevard. Lots to get to here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll talk to John Brady of the LSU Sports Radio Network. Cool moment for Brady and some of his former players on Saturday night. It was the basketball alumni night for the LSU basketball program as they were celebrating 50 years of the Maravich Center. Good crowd on hand for LSU Mississippi State. Great tailgate put together for our friends, by our friends, Daniel Newman and Pop over at Papa Earl's with the
Tom
jambalaya,
Granning.
with the pastalaya, Tom Granning with all the drinks down at Go-Mart. It was good to see everybody on a Saturday afternoon. Then it was good to win the bet on Saturday night.
Oh.
We will talk to John Brady about LSU winning 2 in a row. Now setting up this week ahead for the basketball Tigers. But Super Bowl Sunday will dominate the conversation here this morning. Brady, the only guest, so we'll talk. We'll take a lot of your interaction. We'll replay and interact and break down everything that went down over the weekend as Sam Mills, former Saints linebacker, heading to the Hall of Fame. Bengals offensive line as bad as we thought they were. Aaron Donald in the defensive line for Los Angeles as good as you thought they were. Mattress Mac, $9.5 million he's got to fork up for his latest loss. Not as bad as Lizzie. Yesterday was a win for you, yes?
A win in spirit, a win in the books, but I really
loss
didn't
in the
want to.
pocket.
Yeah, a lot. No, win in the pockets for sure.
Okay.
But a loss just in,
Sure.
for Joey B and Zach Taylor, I guess. Get him out of here.
We
Did
will
you bet?
talk about. I did. I just bet the Bengals money line.
Okay.
Oh, that's a loss.
So
an
that
L.
was an L.
That was it? That was your
an
only
L.
bet?
That was my only bet
Okay.
yesterday.
Jordy's not a degenerate.
I'm
Yeah.
not well, it can be.
You're not as bad as Lloyd.
Not as bad as Lloyd.
2 for 13 on the props,
True.
but
Wow.
the future cashes, so
Yes.
it all goes away. The
3 for
props-
3 on the Rams.
3 for 3. All
How much
those
did you end up
futures.
collecting on that?
30 to win 510.
We'll take it.
We'll take it. Didn't have to
Nice.
show up to work today.
Yes, you did.
No, Stu, you're all trained up. We're good.
Not yet. True Blue Water. Remember, get on the delivery route by logging on to trubluewater.com. trubluewater.com is where you can find them. And then our phone lines, compliments of Metropolitan Health Group. Real doctors, real solutions. Charlie Harvey, Jason Ramazan, the entire crew over there at Metropolitan Health Group. What a Sunday it was. Beautiful weather this weekend in South Louisiana. 80 degrees, it felt like, during the day. Or it was a little chilly during the evenings, but it was sun shining and bright on the days. And then yesterday we were moving around. Shout out to our friends over at Modesto. Sean Courtney had a setup over here, man. The setup, I don't know if you saw any of our social media that was coming out here, but it was an incredible setup from our friends over at Modesto. Sean Courtney did a great job of setting us up. We had people in and out of here all afternoon. Major Burns and Pig Cage came by
Big.
to watch the first 3 quarters. It was cool watching the games with them. Our Super Bowl winners racked up, our square winners racked up yesterday. Shout out to our friends over at Morales Roll-Offs as they won the first and the third quarter. And then Minnieville,
Mike Minnieville.
Mike Minnieville,
Mendo? We're
Minville?
not really sure.
Minville,
Minville?
Minville.
No big deal.
Won the second and the fourth. So a couple of big
weird.
winners yesterday.
That's
Well, they
weird
were able to
that
pick
that's
their numbers, and it was pretty
Yeah.
traditional.
Called their shot.
It was pretty traditional was the score. 23-20 was the final yesterday. Thanks to everybody for being involved with us over here. Thanks for all the interaction yesterday afternoon as we were watching for the watch party. It was good to be alongside all of you watching that game, but Joe Burrow and the Bengals fall in Super Bowl 56 for the first time in the in the franchise history. They had been there in nearly 40 years. They go back and fall to the Los Angeles Rams. So much to react to yesterday from yesterday's game. We'll just start with the final sequence there. You knew Burrow was going to get him in a chance to score and tie the game at the very least when he had the ball in his hands in the fourth quarter, under 2 minutes left to go, couple of timeouts in his back pocket, and, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 from the 50-yard line. They run Mixon they run Pirine on 3rd down. He gets stopped short. He gets wrapped up by Aaron Donald. Then on 4th down, Donald and that Los Angeles front are in Burrow's face like they were all day. Burrow sacked 7 times. He was sacked, all in all, 70 times in his second season in the NFL and had Cincinnati in the Super Bowl. But wrapped up yesterday and thrown to the turf 7 times.
The turf.
You were mad about the turf.
The turf is a monster.
It is.
More injuries than you could ever count. And do you think Joe's hurt?
I do think he's hurt.
He wouldn't have.
Gotta be.
Yeah. It was shocking to see him grimace that
You
way.
see his face, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
that
he
was
it was
like
shit.
scary.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
even more than that was the way that he walked off the field.
Yeah. He kept trying to jump and then not put pressure on it.
Yeah,
And then he
I
would
mean,
try, and then it was hard to watch.
Rarely will he ever show you any
Weakness.
type of weakness or any type of, that he's just kind of discombobulated at all. And he couldn't hide it yesterday, man. I mean, Cincinnati has got to focus on the offensive line. Not only if they want to continue to have the success that they've experienced in just the short time of having Burrow in the franchise, but really, I mean, it almost feels like a David Carr situation back in Houston where, I mean, he was knocked out of the league because he was sacked so much. I mean, he was just beat up and it just battered the first couple of years of his career. He couldn't get over it. And for as tough as Joe is, and he's as tough as they make him, the human body can only take so much, man, of Aaron Donald and Von Miller and these guys crashing down on you like they were yesterday. But it was, it didn't look good for Burrow coming off of the field, laying down at the last sack. You wonder what the news will be on his injury, what's going on. Odell Beckham Jr., you knew, right when it happened. Non-contact. He had made a catch coming across the middle, which, by the way, it looked like he was on the way for just an epic day.
Banner day.
One of his games.
It was the Odell party for a little bit.
It was.
It was about to be like his coming out party. Like,
He
this
had-
is the Odell.
He had 2 catches for 52 yards
Wow.
And a touchdown.
and a touchdown. Yeah.
Started so strong.
It
That
didn't
was
even
hard
get
to
touched.
watch. I know.
Yeah, and it was tough to watch that happen. And look, I don't mean to be in the vacuum, and I'm not trying to add any type of negativity to a very down situation. But I wondered aloud yesterday in the watch room, a part of the watch part, I wonder if Odell's done. I mean,
really?
if
Think
that
so?
is the second, that would be the second knee injury on the same knee in the past 2 years. And you got to think the type of player that Odell is that he's a game breaker. He's a guy that can catch a slant and go 70 yards on an NFL football field. I mean, he's a guy that's jumping over defensive backs like he did on that first touchdown yesterday where he just scooped it out of the air and made it look so easy. If you take that explosiveness away from him and you take that ability to be as fast as he is on the third step as he is on the first step, if his game can adapt, I hope it can, because I love watching him play. But the Odell that we watched the last year at LSU and into the first couple of seasons of the NFL, I think that's probably an obvious statement, is not the guy that we were watching even yesterday, but it's the guy that we'll never see again. I mean, I think that there was hope that if he got his knee right and got, healthy again, that, we could see some of the glimpses of who he is, the type of athlete that he is, because he's a very unique, special type of athlete that can do, extraordinary things. He can pick up a golf club and hit it probably 300 yards down the middle. He can bowl 300. He can also
He's a soccer player.
be a standout soccer player and catch a basketball off a glass and reverse dunk it in a game. He's one of those athletes that can take a slant route on an NFL field 75 yards. I mean, there aren't too many people on the planet that can do that. And Odell was that guy for an extended amount of time. I don't think we'll ever see that guy again.
Really? You think that's just over?
Man, 2 knee injuries in the NFL? I mean, you know how much that sets you back compared to the competition? Yeah, he can get right again. But 2 knee injuries later, you know, I mean, the NFL is always prospering. There's always guys down there that are 22 years old that run 4.4, that can jump and have no knee injuries. They may have one on the horizon, but they hadn't had one yet. And that's who Odell was his first couple of years in the league. And now, you know, a couple of knee injuries later, it's the Derrick Rose. It's the same thing that we talk about with Derrick Rose in basketball. I mean, the fall off for Rose was pretty sudden and quick. Now, credit Rose. He's adapted and evolved his game where, you know, he doesn't have to be that explosive player to still make an impact on the game. I don't know if OBJ can do that as an NFL wide receiver just because of of how special of a player he was. That was tough to watch, man. It was also cool to see him really starting to get it back with Los Angeles.
A lot of crying.
A guy like Sean McVay, a guy in an offense that they were running really featured him. And the way that game was playing out last night, the way that they were defending Cooper Kupp, at least early on, it looked like Odell was going to have one-on-one coverage all night. It didn't look like they could handle him.
Not only that, when he went out, you could tell that the Rams' game plan had kind of changed. They were like, oh, shit, we don't have Odell because he was almost the feature because they kind of knew they would take Cooper Kupp away. As good as he is, he still got his.
I know.
But
I thought Odell was going to be MVP based on
I
how
think he
started
was
out.
going to. He was trending that way.
It seemed like they schemed the game for
Odell.
For Odell to be the number one that night.
Absolutely.
Because after the injury, that's when the game changed.
It did.
Like, that's when the Bengals started to make a comeback.
They started to make a comeback, and Los Angeles was a little lost for
Until
a minute.
through
They
interception.
were kind of like looking for it, trying to find it. So
Joe went straight for the throat, too, after halftime.
He did, man. He did.
God,
it was.
Assassin.
There were some things early on in that didn't make a lot of sense when you watch Burrow play on that first 4th down on his first series of the game.
I love that they went for it.
Me too. And it was the right call because they had a wide open guy, and Uzomah was standing by himself on the outside. He ran just a simple, they sent him in motion and into the out, but Burrow was locked in on Jamar and tried to fit it in there. And, you know, look, Los Angeles defense made a good play, but, I mean, there was an open
Two
option.
open people.
Yeah, there that Burrow missed
Joey.
early on. But, you know, it was just one of those days, man. It was one of those games where Kurt Warner sat down with Joe Burrow yesterday morning. I was watching some of the early day coverage of the Super Bowl on the NFL Network, and Warner had a really cool sit-down where he zoomed in with Burrow. It looked like it was either earlier this week or you know, kind of late last week in preparation. And if you remember, Jimmy Burrow, Coach Burrow, came here and talked about the relationship that he had with Kurt Warner because Jimmy was on the Iowa Barnstormers staff, the arena team that found Warner, you know, off of the grocery store packing shelves, brought him back on to play football. Jimmy Burrow was on that staff, so Joe was always around the Iowa Barnstormers when he was, you know, what was he? I think he was like 4, 5, 6 years old. And Warner was kind of going back and talking about some of the memories that he had about Burrow. And he asked him going out, he said, Joe, how do you think this game, how do you see it playing out? And Burrow kind of, you know, gave the canned answer of, you know, we got to come out strong. We can't turn the ball over. If we do all the things we're supposed to do, we should take care of business and we should win the game. And Warner says, you know, this thing's going to come down to a 2-minute scenario with the ball in your hand with a chance to win it. And you could see his eyes kind of like got a little wide, not wide to the fact of, you know, I mean, the moment's too big. Just, I want that. I hope that
Please
happens.
let that happen.
Absolutely. That's the dream that you talk about growing up. That's the backyard scenario that you always paint. And for him to have that moment yesterday, I mean, I think all of us were thinking he's going to win this game, or at the very least, he's going to force overtime. And
they kind of took it out of his hands.
They did. I mean, you know, it was surprising to see
For a
that ball.
backup running back, you give it to Samaj?
To see that play call on 3rd down be bottled up by Donald, and then, you know, on 4th down, Stewie pointed out on that 4th down, there's a screenshot of Jamar running by himself with his hand in the air.
Ramsey fell down again.
He did. He fell down. It looked like, if Joe had just a half a second
sliver.
more, just a blink, a click more, he's probably going to be able to just throw the ball up to see if Jam can't make the play. But
could you imagine if that's the way the game ended for LSU fans? 1 minute left, and it's a 50-yard bomb from Joey B to Jamar Chase for the game winner.
one thing that the NFL.
Are we grittying?
I don't know how. It's still grittying, bro.
Vernon Hargraves is out there somewhere.
Vernon Hargraves. Think he got cut today?
Yeah, give me your playbook.
He's cut. He's
cut.
cut for sure.
His shit was packed when he got back.
Hargraves.
Somebody packed for him at halftime.
The first penalty of the game. Hargraves comes sprinting off the bench with a towel around his neck to celebrate the. Was it a turnover or a touchdown?
Interception in the
it
end zone.
was the interception. He comes sprinting out of off the Bengals bench and goes out on the field and celebrates and gets an unsportsmanlike conduct call on the bench. I mean, that will go down as one of the dumbest penalties in Super Bowl history. And one of the things that yesterday that stood out was that I thought the game was officiated for.
They were doing so good
for 48 minutes. Out of the 48 minutes of game action yesterday, 46 and a half were officiated awesome. I mean, like
the best you could do it.
That's how a game like that is supposed to be called, where there's no penalties. And then on the final drive of the game, they throw 4 straight flags, 2 of them very questionable, one that extends and keeps the drive alive for Los Angeles. I mean, look, man. The social media buzz yesterday afternoon was, creeping and crawling with the conspiracy theories of the NFL. But this is the type of stuff that you open yourself up to in a moment like this, where it looks like this thing's just going to be figured out on the field. And look, there were some things back and forth. The T. Higgins offensive PI where he pulled Ramsey's face mask on that long touchdown on the first start or the first play of the third quarter, obviously, and then the pass interference late in the game on 55, our guy.
Logan
Wilson.
From?
Who had a great day.
Wyoming.
Doesn't he look like
he looks it?
Logan, Wyoming.
Logan, Wyoming. Cowboycollar.com.
He had a great Super Bowl.
He did.
He led the team in tackles.
No doubt he did.
And Stewie called it. He comes down to it.
Game. It was his type of game.
Right.
Like inside the tackles.
Everything was inside the hash marks.
Yeah. Not too much running sideline to sideline.
Please don't.
Please.
But the NFL, this morning, the NFL officials are a piece of the storyline and reaction of yesterday's Super Bowl, man. So as much as the NFL tries to get past it, it's almost like they can't help themselves without having some type of impact on it. And yesterday, at the end of the game, man, it was that was tough to watch, man. That was tough.
It's almost like the referees feel the moment too. They were like, "Oh, we haven't been involved here in a second," and it was back-to-back plays. Like, what are y'all doing? Everything was going great. Like, let them figure it out on the field, because there was hits that were like, a little questionable, and it's been happening that way, where there was penalties that you thought would have been called that they did not call. Like, especially in the AFC Championship, they were like blindside blocking people, crack backing on people. They're like, all right, we're playing football here. And then they were doing the exact same thing in the Super Bowl. And then finally, when they came home to roost with 2 minutes left, they're like, penalty. It's like, oh, we were so close to having such a fun game to watch.
It was fun, man. It was a really good Super Bowl. It was an incredibly entertaining Super Bowl. I thought the halftime show was possibly the best
ever
halftime show. I hate to say the best ever, because I remember
Really?
the Prince in the Rain playing Purple Rain down in Miami was incredible.
that was cool, but this
was
a different level to
that
me.
was incredible.
This one just hit home more, I guess.
But yeah, I mean, it was great.
This is right up our alley.
It was great. It was fantastic.
I mean, why don't they tour together, right?
All
I don't want that to be
old.
it. I want them to now tour together.
Mary J. Blige was exhausted after
She
that.
was.
She was laid down.
I wondered if she was going to make it through, honestly.
50 Cent looked like a $1.50, bro.
Why was he hanging up? I was so panicked that he was hanging upside down.
That was
in
the
the original
That's the video.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's
it
hanging
was.
upside down.
But he's old
He should have
now.
come out in the bulletproof
bulletproof
vest.
vest.
He should have had the
I feel like all the blood was rushing to his said I was so worried about
I
it.
needed some Botox.
He brought the
They
headband
all have
back.
Botox.
It
Yeah.
was, dude, nostalgia.
I mean, think about
Yeah.
him waiting on the show to start.
Patiently
He's
waiting?
Oh my
upside down.
gosh.
Like,
Yeah, they've
you
all.
All right, 50, we're about 3 minutes away.
I can't breathe. Take this bulletproof vest off, dude.
He's in there showing off, doing pull-ups.
It was great, though. I thought it was fantastic. I mean, bringing back all the legends. I thought Kendrick Lamar was sneakily, kind of like the best performance
good.
outside
Best
of
choreography for
it was
sure.
awesome.
It was
So
so
good.
orchestrated and awesome. Unless you were on the other side of the field.
Exactly, and you
Right.
didn't see him at
You
all.
didn't see anything.
Dude, what a bummer.
What a bummer.
Like, I can't believe, they didn't make a double-sided stage. Like, I get it. The set design was great.
That was cool.
It was awesome.
Or
It
that
was
it didn't rotate.
Or
That
just the
would've been
fact
cool.
that, I mean, you're...
Call Brian Kelly.
But you know what it shows. You know what it shows is that all this stuff is for none of it's for the in-game watch. Like the guy that's inside the stadium,
It's
the
all made
person's
for
inside
TV.
the stadium. It's all made for television.
Absolutely.
I guess you have to find where the booths are, the big time people that are sitting in the suites. That's where the show's
That's-
going to be
that's
facing.
probably
So
what
when
it
you buy
was.
tickets,
Yes.
now we know.
I guarantee it was facing J-Lo. She didn't have a back view.
Poor A-Rod.
Ugh.
Saw Ben and
Poor guy.
I think he's used to
J-Lo.
seeing Ben and
Wait, he
J-Lo
was at the
by
game.
now.
A-Rod was at the game.
no, they were though.
He was somewhere.
Yeah, he was. He was somewhere.
It's too much star power
feel
in that
like
room
somebody
for
would've
A-Rod
found him
not
and
to be
showed
able to
him.
find
He was in the
that.
bathroom.
And his ex was there.
Yeah.
Like,
They would have shown him if he was there.
That's what I'm saying. They would have showed
They
him. I
would've
think
showed
he
him.
was.
Especially
it
with
was
her
way
there.
too much star power in the room.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Couldn't
I don't know if
A-Rod.
I don't know if A-Rod was on the powerful list last night that they were
Yeah.
showing. I mean, they were going around the stadium. I mean, did you see some of the power inside there?
Yeah.
Denzel,
Jay-Z,
Jay-Z,
Jay-Z looked
J-Lo,
awesome.
I love
Affleck.
that look.
JC's he's gone like hippie.
He's living his best life.
Yeah, he just-
Cam Newton is copying him.
Yeah, oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's the model.
Yeah.
I don't know about
But
that.
Cam
I think
Newton's
Cam
not
was
that
doing
rich.
it first.
Also,
I don't know.
I don't know.
What about
Jay-Z
the-
looks awesome.
He looks awesome. What about the commercials? Did y'all get into any of that?
Didn't watch a single
I didn't-
one.
I mean,
Oh,
it
no.
was. You know what? It was so much. It was so
with
movie
movie
based.
trailers and
Yeah,
like TV
it
show
was.
trailers.
Like I wouldn't even know anyone that stood out.
I think the only one that stood out was the Kia one with the robot dog. That made me cry.
Jeez, you cried twice.
What's going on with you?
Emotional.
No, it was super emotional. What's
going on?
Are you
Oh,
okay?
man.
Like,
What day of the
how we
month
doing
is
here?
that?
Yeah, right.
It's got like a calendar over there.
Go ahead and pin this day for us, buddy.
Lloyd already has it pinned.
Yeah.
Tread lightly around
Yeah,
here.
right. Look, there's Mike Minville right there.
Oh, good.
Good morning.
Winner.
Inside the
Mike,
chat.
Mike, you won.
Mikey, you won the Super Bowl squares, buddy.
Twice.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
you won
Twice.
2 times.
Second and fourth quarter. How old are you, Mike? Does Fred's bar card mean anything to you? Does Fred's bar tab mean anything? We've also got good giveaways from GoFlow, Johnson Spillers. We've got some merchandise over here at the Jordy Culotta Show and Mic'd Up. Mic'd Up will be back here at 11 o'clock this morning. Make sure that you are subscribed for Mic'd Up, which will be coming at you today. Coming in
Chad Jones, maybe.
at 11 o'clock. Dan said it too. So much crypto.
Yes,
Yeah, a
that's
lot of
right.
crypto.
It's a
So
crypto.
many
They had
crypto.
a
Maybe it's
barcode
left
on
out.
See the
It
barcode?
makes me not want to do crypto.
I
don't know,
wanted to
Lloyd.
do.
I
We
agree.
We talked about it the other
it.
day.
We wanted to do
I
it,
feel
but now I'm
panicked
out.
now.
I
You
agree.
are? Oh, I
Yes.
feel like more in. Like
Completely
I
out?
gotta get in.
I think I don't know what's going on. I don't
I'm
know why.
scared.
I
Is
thought
it-
the TV shut off when the crypto commercial came
Me
on.
too.
I was like,
Oh.
what's going on? Like,
They
did we
did-
lose connection? Like,
Was
what's
it the
up?
Office Square?
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
the
Yeah, you don't
Square.
like The Office, but that's what it was. That was a great commercial idea, but
So what
is SoFi
were you
a
supposed to
crypto?
just walk up to the TV and
And
scan the code?
and you're
And,
probably
well, you're
like,
supposed to chase it down.
Well, I mean, I think they were giving you time.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
they
thing
gave
wasn't
you
mov- it
they
wasn't
gave you
moving
28 seconds.
What time did Burrow had?
I mean, quadruple the time that Burrow had. But I mean, they gave you 28 seconds to be able to chase the rubber room square, just kind of bouncing off a square, off a corner to
substitute
corner,
teacher
dude.
square.
That's right. Daily, we were brought to you by Cajun Ready Mix Concrete. Get in touch with our friends over at Cajun Ready Mix. No project too big, too small. For our friends over at Cajun Ready Mix Concrete, municipal, industrial, doesn't matter, residential, the project, they're ready for you over at Cajun Ready Mix. Online at CajunRMC.com. It's CajunRMC.com online. As you can find Cajun Ready Mix. We remind you that they've got 9 plants around the greater Baton Rouge area, which means to you, the customer, that if you order concrete from Cajun Ready Mix, it'll be there on time to the exact specification. Get in touch with them online at CajunRMC.com. CajunRMC.com. CVL Jr., the QR code commercial was genius. Rico, the Larry David commercial was the best. On Saturday, we were out there.
A little heavy-handed.
What really?
The Larry David was kind of on the nose.
Really?
You didn't like that one.
I
What
don't
was
mind
it?
it, but
What
it
was it,
just wasn't
political?
like no, it was just Larry David being full Larry David.
Yeah.
But it was like this is like a Curb promo,
Right.
and it wasn't a Curb commercial.
Everything is.
Yeah.
Brian Burgess, the QR code commercial was annoying. I almost changed the channel. Almost being the keyword in that sentence, Brian. You stayed
What else?
involved.
What are you gonna change it to?
Brian, if you were to change the channel, where would you go?
What was
Where would you
on?
go?
The puppy
Well,
bowl replay?
we had something playing on the smaller TV, like Animal Planet or something.
Yeah, we had a mental
watching
health.
We
we
had
were
a
watching
mental
like
health
penguins.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a mental health corner because we didn't want to try to mess with the TVs. So we just had a little Animal Planet going in
Mental
case you were
health
losing your
corner.
bets. If you go 2 for 13 on your props.
Why is everyone calling Joe woke? What did I miss on that? What's the deal?
Who? Joe.
Everyone's
Burrow.
calling Joe Burrow woke.
I missed it too.
Woke? I don't know.
I don't know.
Have y'all
I mean,
not
he got a
seen that?
grill before the game. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make people call him woke,
I don't
though.
know.
I wondered
Joe's
what was
just
going on
Joe.
with that.
I don't know. Daniel Newman on Saturday was a part of the tailgate, which we appreciate everybody for coming out on Saturday. Daniel
Got cold
Newman
out there.
did get a little chilly.
Jeez.
Did get a little chilly in the afternoon when that sun went down, man. Daniel Newman and crew, Tom Craning, as we said, and Pop over at Papa Earl's were out there on Saturday taking care of all of the tailgating stuff for us. We appreciate that, man. Hopefully we'll continue to do that type of stuff. It was good to see the Balcony Bengals out there as the boys are they're starting to pop as the brand is growing. We'll talk some LSU basketball coming up here at 8:15 this morning. So about 45 minutes from now is where John Brady will stop by, and we will talk to him about the Tigers' latest win over Mississippi State, and they pulled it out on Saturday night.
Not the only winner in that game. You. Little you and Katie's
little
bet.
bit, little
a lot of
bit.
people are
Little
wondering
bit.
if you took the spread because if Katie
We did
would've
not.
taken-
We
we
if Katie
didn't.
would have taken the point, she
we
would have
clarified
covered.
that.
I know.
We
I
did
know.
clarify that.
Don't try to backdoor anything on me, boy. No jersey for your boy.
I lost. Like, I'm
No
waiting for the
me.
jersey.
We should get we should get a
First
baseball
live show
jersey.
from the dude.
Yeah.
That's what it's trending
I
toward.
believe that.
What
when I
is
see
the
it.
We got to get a suite now.
what's the date of
I can do
the
that.
Gotcha.
series?
Gotcha.
I had it looked up and I forgot what it was.
I mean, if we can get a suite, we can definitely
We
make
could
that
do
happen.
a show from
can
the
do that.
dude
Yeah.
in the left. What is it? The left field
Yeah.
where all the suites are.
Brown Bear 765. If y'all need a crypto consultant, I got you guys.
Oh, we do.
How do we know? We don't know how to get started.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's
I don't
step
know if
one?
I'm ready to jump into the crypto world.
Yeah, give me your
You better
credit
get
card
ready.
and your driver ID and your social security number.
I'm still
I'm
trying,
trying to
to
find
find
out what the woke thing is
the
about.
series is April 8th.
I can't find the woke thing either. Somebody knows
Somebody
in
say
our
it
chat.
in the
What's
chat.
the
Just
deal
tell
with the
us.
woke? It's been in like
Eminem was
social
woke last
media.
night. That's what I
He
know.
was.
I just searched Joe Burrow woke on Twitter.
And nothing came up.
Nothing.
April 8th is the series.
Yeah.
LSU at
Okay.
Mississippi State.
It's kind of
April
closer
8th
than
is
I
the
thought.
Friday. It
Jeez.
is closer.
We got to get on this thing.
It is closer. We do have to get
Get
on
on
it.
the whiteboard.
I don't know what he did. Somebody tell us why he was woke. It couldn't be the grill.
Can't be the girl.
It can't just be the grill. It's got to be something he
He
said,
didn't,
right?
he didn't kneel.
No,
That was Eminem.
that was Eminem. I thought Eminem was. I thought he was so emotional. Like
You were both crying.
I know,
apparently.
but he went for a long time.
What songs did he play? I know he did "Lose Yourself."
What else did he play? I can't even remember what else was out there.
Tough. I don't know. I really don't remember.
The
what
best
song it
halftime
was.
show of all time.
I know. I can't even remember it all. I'm like, yeah, it was the best I've ever seen. Who was
What
there
happened?
again?
I don't know. The best, but you talk about Prince. He was asking during the halftime show. He was asking if they could make it rain more. Like Prince,
Right.
it's raining.
Right.
Like
Can
we're
you
not
make
doing
it
this.
rain
I'm
And
telling you.
He thought it was like stage produced. Like, can we put more water out here? Like, no, dude, it's just raining.
Hurry up, make it rain more.
Yeah, make it rain more.
I thought that the Prince halftime show has been the best that I've ever seen.
He's the ultimate entertainer, right?
Yes.
Like, there's nobody when the stage is on. There's nobody better than.
I mean, he was
Prince.
playing the purple electric
Guitar.
Prince themed guitar in the rain,
with the boots.
playing Purple Rain, like stomping the water off the stage
Yeah,
as
it was
he's just
great.
like.
Funny story. My mom made me watch that movie. My mom's favorite artist is Prince.
Really?
And yes.
That's
so
awesome.
I've watched that movie so many times, Purple Rain. So yeah, I know the songs.
I just love that he was like, make it rain more. Like, we can't do that. We're not. Mother Nature's doing all she got.
Bengals offensive line is it was tough to see how bad they are, man. And look, Aaron Donald and Von Miller and that crew, that's not the one that you want to go up against when you're struggling. That's not the crew that you want to take on when your confidence is shaky. And Burrow last night, as we said, 7 times he was sacked. The entire season, he was sacked 70 times. It's a scary proposition if you're in the Cincinnati management group to think about what the future could be like without Burrow if you don't get this guy some protection. I mean, for as much money as they spent in free agency last year on the defense, and look, their defense played, I thought, against the run last night. They were stout.
And Sean McVay didn't stop running the ball. He kept running right into the teeth of that defense.
Held him to 43 yards rushing on 23 rushes.
For as good as that defensive
He
front
ran it
played,
23 times for 2 yards a pop.
but the money was spent last year in free agency. A lot of it was spent on the defensive side of the ball. And this season, the offense and the offensive line has to be the point of emphasis for Cincinnati. I mean, I think we can all agree Cincinnati is ahead of schedule, right? Like, I mean, they're not even supposed to be in this game. And for them to have the ball in Burrow's hand under 2 minutes with the ability to win that game yesterday, I think that, if you're in the Cincinnati management group, you've got to be saying, we're so far ahead of schedule right now that you could probably squeeze 2 or 3 more championship appearances out of Burrow if you could get him some guys this offseason. Like, if you can get him some legitimate offensive line and protection around him, then, I mean, think about when Brady and Breeze figured out their protection, where Breeze went through that, what was it, like a 12-year run where he didn't miss a game for New Orleans. I mean, he missed a Carolina Panthers game on their Super Bowl run that they sat him. They made the decision to sit him in the regular season finale. And then up until like late in his career where he dealt with some shoulder and some he had like the ab, he had the ribs where the ribs broke. But I mean, like late in his career, that stuff happened. I mean, there was a 12 to 13 year window where Breeze, you couldn't get to him. You could rarely touch him during the game. Tom Brady was the same way.
He got hurt once, and they changed the
entire
philosophy.
They changed the rule.
Yeah.
You couldn't go low.
But that's what I put on the poll. It makes you wonder because everybody's like, "Oh, Joe Burrow will get there again." But this has happened in history, to where Dan Marino is probably the best example of like, "Oh, he's so young and so talented, he'll be back again." And so I put it on the poll. What is it? The Eye Center.
Yeah, Southern Eye Center.
Southern Eye Center. The Southern Eye Center poll of the day. I put, how many more Super Bowls do you think Joe Burrow will make? 1 more, 2 more, 5 more, or none? Because there is a chance where he's playing for Cincy, where they don't really care about winning until Joe Burrow got there.
Right.
And the owner is notoriously known for not spending money. They have, like, what he did was invest in the defense. That's the most they've ever bought in before in Bengals history. And now you have to go re-up all of these people. Joe Mixon, you need to sign again. Mm-hmm. T. Higgins, you need to sign again. Tyler Boyd, you have to sign again. Jamar Chase, you have to look at that. Joe Burrow, you have to sign again. Yeah. And so that's a lot of money that they're going to have to shell out, and then you still have to fix the offensive line.
Well, yeah, they have no choice, right? Or they'll be irrelevant again if they don't pay.
But he's one of the owners. The Bengals are notoriously known for being, this is just a money-making facility. This is not, we're not trying to win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make money.
I don't know if the fan base will allow that right now.
Oh, it'll be an uprising.
That mentality. I mean,
Joe Burrow won't let it.
They'll be
not to spend the money.
They would be a revolt. If they didn't protect Burrow, if they didn't, show the signs that they're trying to improve the franchise, if they're not showing that they're trying to take advantage of having a franchise quarterback, it's so rare in this game that you can get the guy in the draft. Rarely do you see guys that you got the number 1 pick, you hit on him, and within 2 years, he's got you in the Super Bowl.
And you got him hurt.
Right? And he's been sacked 70 times just in his second season. In his first year, he couldn't finish it because he snapped his knee. I mean, I thought yesterday it looked as if
Did it again.
He did it again.
He definitely thought it. For 1 second, he was like, oh, shit, that felt the exact same as when I got my knee blowed up.
It's one of those things in Cincinnati where you're like, man, I am so geeked and amped up about the future, but it does leave you a little bit of pause because you're like, you better get this right. I mean, you can't have this guy and not give him the pieces. And I think, look, drafting Jamar was a good sign that they're willing to not only listen to him, but give him what he needs to be great. But if they don't get him a entire brand new offensive line, like they got to go find the best free agents or draft the best at those positions and not only get starters, but get guys that they can bring. I mean, they need an 8-man rotation on the offensive line. They need a 7 or 8-man rotation that you can travel with, look at all 7 or 8 guys and trust. It doesn't matter who's in. Your main priority is to protect the franchise.
Joey franchise.
Do not let him get touched. Because for as much as he's been hit in his first 2 years, you've got to take that just wear and tear off of him for the next couple of seasons. Just by getting up and playing NFL football, the body is going to start to break down. If you get sacked 70 times as an NFL football player, I mean, the lifespan of your career is a blink, a snap. And I know that we're not dealing with a normal dude, that Burrow's different. But it doesn't matter who you are. If you get put in a pretzel as many times as he does on an NFL football field, at some point you're gonna snap. It's gonna be over. And hopefully, if anything that Cincinnati learned yesterday in watching that game and watching his face grimace as he goes down to the ground and thinking to himself, I wonder if I just did this again, is that somebody in a suite, somebody in the owner's box yesterday at SoFi Stadium said, when we land in Cincinnati, we're cutting all 5 of those guys, and I want starters. I want NFL talented guys. I want guys that can protect everything that we're trying to do for the next decade. Because if you look at Burrow, you're thinking, man, you got at least 10 years of this cat, right? Not if you can't keep him upright. Not if you can't keep Aaron Donald and Vaughn Miller. And I know it's a tough task. But he's the best quarterback in the game over the next decade. I mean, that's the golden goose of investments in the NFL. That's the Powerball ticket. Cincinnati is holding it in its second year. I mean, protect that guy.
That almost makes you more nervous.
Absolutely,
because you don't want to F it up. It's almost like Seattle with Russell Wilson. Like, you build around a guy that you found the guy, like, and then you have him on a rookie deal so you can spend money elsewhere because it'll come home to roost eventually. Like you said, the Bengals have the second most cap space, $60 million.
They have the most cap space of any playoff team.
That's because you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, right. But they're going to have to pay him $100+ million eventually. So you have to win almost now. You have to accelerate your timeline because Joe Burrow did it. Now we're here, and so now you have to spend money on ancillary parts, and then it'll come home to roost later. And you have to almost do the Saints model where you just kick the can down the road. Or look at the Rams. They did the exact same thing. We're in win-now mode for the next 5 years. The Rams and the Saints did the exact same thing, but the Rams went to the Super Bowl twice and won it once.
Yeah. Southern Eye Center poll question of the day: how many more Super Bowls will Burrow attend? It's right there for you to make your selection, whether you're on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. We'll get the poll to you from Southern Eye Center. Excellence in Eye Care over there on Jefferson Highway. Our good friend Ann Shaw. Go over there and see her. Make sure you mention the Jordy Culotta Show when you walk in. You'll receive 25% off.
New eyes?
Sunglasses.
Yeah, something's playing.
That's
huge.
Whoa.
Something's playing.
That's
Prescription
Chevrolet. Our good
sunglasses are
friends at Go Chevrolet.
Southern Eye Centers is online at southernyecenters.com. Southernyecenters.com. All right, as we said, we're going to talk to John Brady coming up here at 8:15 this morning to get more on LSU basketball. Good to be inside the Maravich Center on Saturday night. Good to be back on Saturday night. As we said, the Tigers felt like they've been away from home for such an extended amount of time. Man, I hate to really say and beat a dead horse in what we've been talking about with LSU basketball, but it's incredible how much difference Xavier Pinson makes for LSU. And I know Will Wade said that last week when he was asked pretty directly on, Will, does really one player make this much of a difference? And he
All
was
the
like,
difference in the world.
yeah, he does.
Apparently.
And, like we said last week, and I agree with him, and, I think the same thing is that you hate to be in that position in any team sport, right? Any team sport. It doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, baseball, anything that takes a team to accomplish anything. To count on one person, to primarily be somebody that can get you in and out of trouble like Pinson can is, it's a lot of leverage for Pinson. But when he is playing and is on the floor and he is confident in his health, LSU is such a different team. I mean, they really are. It's incredible to see the pace and the tempo and where the ball ends up and the shots that they take and the protection of the basketball. It's a totally different team. And with LSU moving into the next couple of weeks, which, this is what the season really is all about. The late February, early March push where they sit at 18-7 and 6-6 in conference play. And the week ahead is Georgia on Wednesday or Tuesday, and then South Carolina on Saturday. 2 very winnable games for LSU. This is a really good chance for them to get right, get some confidence restored, and move into the next couple of weeks and get their seeding right. Take care of their postseason number. What number is going to be next to LSU should be their primary point of concern right now.
Are those home or away?
They are in Baton Rouge to play Georgia on Tuesday, and then they travel to Columbia, South
tomorrow,
Carolina.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa. When did Frank Martin go?
No, I'm sorry. It's Wednesday. They play
Okay.
Wednesday. They play Wednesday.
Wednesday, Saturday.
Wednesday, Saturday. But they played Tuesday last
When
week.
did Frank Martin go bald? Did you see that? He used to have like a head of hair.
Yeah. He's a former bouncer down in Miami in the club scene. Like the Frank Martin stories are.
He looks like he would kick your ass.
He would. He would absolutely would. He is I want to say he's a Cuban American that is from South Florida, from Miami, and spent like the early 80s being a club bouncer.
So him and
in
Coach O
South
know
Beach.
each other.
Very well.
Have to.
Very well.
Kicks you out of here a million times. Let's go another 10 rounds, dude.
Why did you come back? Back again, huh?
Back again, Ed.
Look at Ed. By the way, look at Ed.
Look at it.
Look at Ed.
Look at Ed.
Look at Ed.
I'm kind of happy for him.
Yeah, I am
good.
too.
He
Looks
looked
Ed
rested.
looks
Looks
happy.
happy.
He does.
Ed looks happy.
Some person does not look happy, but Ed looks happy.
Yes.
Yeah. He looked healthier.
Yes, he does.
Calmer.
Very.
Not
yeah,
as
he's-
red.
Post-coital
Yeah.
all the time.
Yes. Doesn't
True.
look like a beat away from a heart attack.
Who was the girl?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Not sure.
Neither is he.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Probably
But good
not.
for her. Good PR for her. She ended up on TMZ.
Did she really?
She ended up
Yeah.
on, like all types of people's social media. Ogeron was all over the place this
The
week.
stories he told were awesome. Like, if that's
Yeah.
the version of Ed O, he can get in television.
Yeah.
Dan Patrick got everything out of him.
Well, and again, Burrow potentially could be the face of the
Proud
NFL
Papa.
over the next 10 years. And I mean, a lot of his media hits, he was speaking like in like the third. He was like, "We gotta hit that pass early on. If they get Jamal 1-on-1, I know Joe's gonna hit him.
He
on.
gonna give down
We
the
gonna
subway.
hit him. We just gotta take our chances, you know." And like, I mean, even like the people were like, "Is he on the Bengals payroll?" No, he's
It
on
was
Joe's.
sweet, though. He coached them both.
No, I
That was
agree.
cool.
No, I agree. I mean, but if that's who he is going to be, he can be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you forget
Like you
that
can
he
be
had that in him.
you
that
can almost
he's-
be like a Joe Burrow insider and get a job
Totally.
over the next 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, think about if Ogeron is
You might have
Burrow's
just gotten him a
spokesperson.
job.
Ogeron's the next Bruce Feldman.
Right? That was a sad picture of Panamsky, though.
Yeah, it was.
Which one?
The one where he's in the background, like
Both
one
of them. He looks lost.
The one that's going to live on forever is the Annie Anger What's her name?
Yeah.
She's like the meme. She's doing like the comedy skits for the NFL, and she's blown up. And that's who Ogeron's taking the picture with, and Panamsky's standing in the background. And it looks like he's just like staring at the buffet.
Where's my best friend?
I mean, just
Turtle.
yes. I'm backing out of this because this is very easy content.
Vince ain't coming down here, sweetheart. He's been gone for 45 minutes.
But it's very sad to see
They're tethered together.
where they are, or just where he is
What a weird
in that.
life.
It is a very weird life to count on somebody else
Every day.
so much to be relevant.
We need a
what I mean?
stylist for both those guys. Though. Good.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah,
the
the-
undershirt under a button-up collar. I haven't seen that since like 2006.
Way too much money to be wearing.
What they were wearing.
Yeah.
Skechers.
Yeah,
I
No
know.
belt.
Read the room, please.
Just get dressed.
shoes
the
and
shoes
jeans.
were rough.
Super Bowl,
Shoes and
a
jeans.
Super Bowl party. I mean, like I ain't the guy to listen to fashion advice.
Well, no,
from.
you were wearing Skechers with your tuxedo.
You know what I mean?
Skechers. Nobody was wearing Skechers. Come
Those
on.
were Cole Hans, bro.
Hey, Cole Haan.
Those were Cole Hunt.
I have some
son
Cole
of a-
Haans, bro.
Nike Tom Colehan.
Yeah,
There you go.
they run a 40 in them, but I mean, it's still dress shorts.
Panamsky, ah!
But that ain't the look for the Super Bowl party.
No!
I mean, if I'm
it's
going to
not.
LA, I mean,
Panamsky's giving up.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking
doesn't
at
know
this
any
picture.
better.
Yeah,
He just doesn't know any better.
Gotta
Y'all-
do better.
I mean, he didn't dress great before. Y'all are acting like he was like always styling.
Okay, but
That's that's the point. Like for a weekend, I can dupe
Put
you.
it together.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you're going to give me the
Who do I
access
need
to
to
the Super Bowl
ask?
parties,
You
I mean,
gotta have somebody
I'm sure
help
they
him.
had full access all weekend. I mean, these TMZ cameras are following Ogeron into restaurants. I mean, yeah, he
Papa.
probably got the red carpet treatment this weekend, and
Yeah.
you knew that going in. I mean, get me out of the Brooks Brother button up, buddy. You know what I mean?
The
Like,
Hanes undershirt.
I don't think he has that in him. He doesn't. Okay, "Lose Yourself" was the only song Eminem played.
Was it?
Sang. Yeah, he
Okay.
entered to "Forgot About Dre" sounds, but that was
But
Why
he
it.
did they
didn't
do
like-
it? Go all the way.
That was it. I don't know. That was a tease.
how long was the show?
I don't know how long. 15.
Was it 15 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes. Because it says he
Felt
came in
like
late.
30.
It
was
did.
That's how much they jam-packed in there. You
He
had
did.
Snoop open up, Dr. Dre come on, Mary J. Blige, then Kendrick was in there. And you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Then
We got a
Eminem
price
comes
tag on
that?
out of the ground.
How much you
Yes.
paid Dre for 15 minutes of entertainment in the Super Bowl? How much
Can
does
you
he make there?
imagine?
What's the price tag on that? I need you for 15 minutes, Dre.
If you had like a bar mitzvah.
Right?
Did y'all think that the
a
Tupac
million a minute?
hologram was going to come?
15 mil? 10?
No,
5?
not 15.
No, not 15.
I'd say
To
5.
get Dre
I'd say
out
5.
of his house, $5 million
5
for
million.
15 minutes.
5 million for 15 minutes would be my guess.
Sounds like my weekends.
Did y'all think they were going to do the Tupac hologram? Everybody was talking about that.
I thought Biggie maybe.
Oh, really? That would have been cool.
Big ol' hologram.
That would have been a big old hologram.
Anybody seeing these stories with Sean McVay? Starting to creep out?
Everybody wants to retire.
So this is my theory on it. The broadcast money has made the leverage for people like McVay and even decisions for people like Sean Payton a lot more easy to make. Because when you look up and you see Tony Romo is making $17 million to call football games, and I'm Sean McVay or I'm Sean Payton, then I'm looking and saying, do I really need to stress the level of stress that we go through for really 52 weeks a year now? It's not just the 18 regular season weeks and the playoff runs. I mean, it's the draft process. It's making sure the roster's intact. It's everything that goes into
He
running an
loves that,
NFL.
though.
I agree. I think he does too.
He
And
will
I think,
die young.
I think that McVay, right now at 36, is using this for leverage. He's got 2 Super Bowl appearances. He's taken Matthew Stafford from a really good quarterback to a Hall of Famer. He's made Jared Goff look really good, but come to find out, he's no
Dan
good.
Orlovsky.
Exactly. He's no good. So the leverage that McVay has in a negotiation of his value is he's got every franchise in the NFL by the nuts. I mean, he has got as much leverage. He almost feels like Phil Jackson at 36. I mean, remember what Phil Jackson was late in his career?
Leaving.
He was Mr. Fix-It. I mean, Jerry Buss at the Los Angeles Lakers, how much? Jenny Buss at the Los Angeles Lakers, how much? The New York Knicks president, how much? Just fix what we have going on. Sean McVay is 36 years old, and right now, he's the best coach in the league. He's got all the power, and now he's threatening to retire. Or his agent is just kind of peppering out there that this broadcast money looks real enticing, right? Where if you don't want to play by our rules or listen to our demands or hear what we have to say about what we believe our value is and the number that we're going to put out there, all right, we'll go to Amazon, Peacock, or CBS and collect. And he'll play golf 4 days a week, and he could take 10 years off
and still
come back at 46 and still be the best coach in the game.
That's amazing.
If he stayed around it, if he stays around it, and he's calling football games. I mean, like, Sean Payton and Sean McVay make Tony Romo look like a high school quarterback in calling games. And Romo's the best in the trade. He's the best at it because when they break the huddle or when they get to the line of scrimmage, he's telling you where the ball's going. Could you imagine what McVay and Payton are going to sound like if they call football games? For the record, I believe that McVay
will coach.
He can't get away from it. He's eating. He didn't blink for 4 hours yesterday.
If you think Sean Payton's addicted to it, look at Sean McVay.
Well, Sean McVay is Sean Payton at 36.
Yes.
I mean, those early days of Payton when he was with the Saints, I mean, he was eating up with it. You know what I mean? Like, he's Sean McVay. And I can't imagine if you would have gone to Sean Payton and said, hey, man, from 38 to 48, you got to sit out and call games in the booth. He'd be like, F you. Put me on the sideline. Put me in the game. Put me in the locker room. I'm putting it together. I want to go. I want to play.
Oh, Jackie Moon it.
I want to play.
I'll call it from the booth and call the game. Like, I'll be a head coach in the booth. But don't you think that the money that's in the booth is more than they make as head coaches? Like, they got to figure that out.
It's comparable. Now you're taking the best coaches in the game and you're
them
making
out.
their decisions very easy. You know how easy that Sean Payton decision was? If it was based on what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do while I'm away from coaching that's going to keep me close to it, where if I want to jump back in, I can just simply jump back into the river and just kind of catch my rhythm. You know, well, you could be a broadcaster and they'll pay you $12 million. Well, shit, I mean, I'm making 10 to coach the Saints now.
And this job is way easier.
Right, and you've gone from a 120-hour work week to a 25-hour work week. Maybe. And 4 of those is calling the game.
And if you're Sean McVay, you just remember everything.
Right. I mean, I don't know how you really do compete if you're a franchise. If somebody starts to have that broadcast itch where, how do you compete? Coach, we need your time here 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. Compared to you go into broadcasting, you got a 3-hour production meeting on Friday, and then you got a 4-hour game on Sunday. Otherwise, you can get in shape and play golf all the time. You know what I mean? There's not too much to do. We're going to pay you $12 million. Like, you know what? I'm not coaching anymore, man. I'm not going to do this. What am I doing this for? I don't. It's just it's fascinating to see what the broadcast, and it's only going to go up. YouTube, Amazon, Netflix, all these power players, these digital companies that want to jump into the NFL negotiating process, if they want to make a huge splash, Amazon wants to get into calling football.
It's Amazon.
How do you make a huge splash? You make Sean McVay the voice of your broadcast.
With Sean Payton.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to watch that.
We pulled him out of coaching.
I have to watch it. Like, I love football. There's no way I cannot watch it. There's no way I can't download the app, subscribe to the sports package, watch Amazon on Sunday. If they have the Super Bowl, I'm watching on Super Sunday. And the reason is because they've drawn me out by just paying McVay. I mean, what's Bezos going to say? How much does Kroenke pay you, Sean? I don't know. We're going back and forth right now over $11 million. Here's 15.
50.
Whatever.
We'll do it on the moon.
Yeah.
Bezos is already there. Tom Cruise is there.
I know, right?
Send Sean McVay to space.
I mean, Amazon and the NFL are going to rule the world.
This is that. Well, that's what's really happening.
And the NFL. Yeah.
Once Amazon got into this game, everybody has kind of been like, "Oh, we'll do that." Maybe it already got Sean Payton and their career trajectory is the same. Like we were talking about earlier, they're kind of the same person.
Yeah.
But they're getting Sean McVay essentially right now. Like if you could have broached Sean Payton at this moment in time after he had just won his first Super Bowl in 2000, I'd be like, you don't have to do this anymore. Like you can just go to the booth. But Amazon wasn't a power player. Now Amazon is in, and they have unlimited money.
YouTube's in.
YouTube is shout out YouTube.
We love you.
Stop reprimanding us so much.
YouTube was. I mean, they're like the title sponsor of the NBA All-Star Game, the Major League Baseball
the
World
court.
Series. I mean, like they're letting you know we're coming.
The world has changed.
Yes, we're coming to take these events from you, and the
From
way
you.
the way that I'm going to attract you is that I'm just going to put talented and popular people on the broadcast. Who do you love? Well, we love watching Sean McVay coach football. How would you like to tell him how would you like to hear him tell you how he coaches a football game? I'm in.
That would be well. If you're the NFL, you have to start miking people up, right? You do the NFL films, but you do a different stream where you can hear the coach's call during the game. Like that's the next move. That's what they should do. But I'd imagine so much goes on in between. They're like, cut that.
Right.
Can't
You have to.
Is Odell done? Shoot him up. I mean, Joe Burrow. That's what happened. There's no way his knee is okay, and he's like, I'm not going to not play.
He didn't look like he had like a limp after the game though. Like he
limped off for sure.
I'm
through
saying
the confetti.
Whenever he was leaving the stadium, like he didn't look like he was like limping.
I really wish he wouldn't have worn that outfit to leave the game. Honestly,
Dude, actually, major respect for wearing it.
I
again,
agree.
He wore it
putting
both
it back
times.
on.
I think like at least
he went
take
hit the
hat
shower
off
and
on
put
the way
that thing
out.
back in.
That had to be
did.
the worst moment of his life, maybe.
I
To
didn't-
have to redress in that.
I know,
I was
wish
I
you
was
wouldn't have done
wondering
it.
if you brought like a change
a
of
winner.
clothes.
You
I
definitely
thought
got to
you
bring
had
like
change
of clothes.
a different fit.
Just joggers and a shirt,
Or just put
cool
like
shoes.
the team issued jumpsuit
yeah.
back on.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a weird move to wear the whole
he has
outfit.
too much money to be wearing team issued jumpsuit.
I
Didn't
agree.
put the grill back in. No,
But he put the
that's
hat
done.
back on.
No, I didn't see the hat back on.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
you
put
did.
the hat
Yeah,
back
did.
on to
everything
leave.
was back on.
That's why I like him, dude. He owned it.
Yeah.
This is who I am.
He wore it.
He
He
did
wore it.
wear it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Literally.
Y'all, the performers did not get paid for the halftime show.
Nope.
In
$0.
fact, Dre paid $7 million of his own money to front the cost, and he bought a box for his friends to watch. That's how powerful the NFL
Forgot
is.
about Dre.
That's how powerful they are.
They didn't pay.
They didn't pay
They
them.
didn't pay him.
The
Nope.
publicity is priceless.
Sure,
is what they
absolutely,
said.
Yes,
absolutely. Well, it
definitely.
is. I mean, it's a worldwide audience.
Right.
I mean, you're
But
speaking
yeah,
to the world.
he paid. He paid to be there.
Well, I guess if you're going to allow me to if you're going to allow me this platform,
Yeah.
and I have the means to flex,
I also don't have to do this.
sure. But I mean, if you're Dre, and they hire somebody else to be the halftime entertainment of your city,
In Compton. Like in LA.
yeah, it's in Inglewood.
Inglewood.
What
to
would,
no good.
what would you like? Like he wouldn't let that happen.
No, I'm paying.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, wait, who? No, I'm paying how much, where, when. I'm doing this.
Isn't that amazing?
I mean, I think that was
We all got along.
he paid. So he paid $7 million.
yeah. And bought a box.
Wow,
What
So
side
it's
was
his
the box
friends.
on?
Can you imagine?
he's better
what
been playing to that side.
what if it was
I
on the
mean,
other side?
Remember, GoFlow, GEAUX,
Fucking Trey.
Flow IV, GoFlowIV.com. Get in touch with our friends over there to get your vitamin infusion this morning. If you partied too hard for the Super Bowl yesterday, GoFlow can take care of it. All you got to do is log online to GEAUXFlowIV.com. You can make your appointment right there online. If you are suffering this Monday from dehydration, if you are hungover, if you were sick over the weekend, if you're looking for some illness recovery,
If you want a Super Bowl square.
get in touch with GoFlow. That's right. GEAUXFlowIV.com. Baton Rouge's premier medical spa specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. Our friends over at GoFlow. Remember the promo code Jordy Culotta Show. If you mention the Jordy Culotta Show over at GoFlow, they will take 15% off of your initial visit. It's easy to walk in over there. If you just want to walk in, they recommend that you go online and request an appointment if you want to make your appointment today with the pros over at GoFlow. Make sure and tell them you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. 7970 Jefferson Highway. 7970 Jefferson Highway is where they're located. We'll be back right after this. We'll set up the second hour. We're going to talk to John Brady coming up here at 8:15. as Brady will be here talking some LSU basketball. As LSU, we told you the week ahead, very winnable games for the Tigers in Georgia and South Carolina. We will ask him what Saturday night looked like for him.
It was the Tari Eason show.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
It was. That was about as good as they can play in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
That first half that they played, both offensively and defensively, I thought that it was that's about as good as LSU can play. We'll ask Coach Brady what his thoughts were, and we will continue on here in the second hour. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet here on this Monday morning. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours. daniel.newman@edwardjones.com.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you daily by Morales Roll-Offs. Morales Roll-Offs provides dumpster rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. Morales has roll-off dumpsters ranging from 10 yards to 40 yards to accommodate all of your disposal needs. Search online, moralesrolloffs.com.
All right, welcome back here to this Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show on what should be a federal holiday, Super Bowl Monday.
It is Valentine's Day, by the way. We
Valentine's
totally
Day.
have skipped over this.
Happy Valentine's,
Day.
Who cares?
No, I don't really get into Valentine's Day. I do stuff for the kids, but that's it.
So today
It's too much pressure.
is my mom, my aunt,
It's their
and my
birthday.
sister's birthday.
Same day?
Yeah,
Parlay?
my mom's a twin.
Wait, which sister?
So my mom and her twin, Linda and Laura, happy birthday.
LML.
And then my youngest sister, Anna Catherine's birthday.
Wow.
Oh, how
It's
does that
Valentine's
happen?
Day. I don't know.
What do y'all
I
do?
don't know.
Roka?
Well, no, I mean, truth be told, it was
Nothing.
like Anna is, well, I mean, I don't consider her, but like she's my half sister. So it was my dad and his second wife's child. So that was really not a good.
Shout out Frank.
That was really not a good time in her life when when all that stuff was going
Your birthday
down.
actually stinks. We don't want to talk
I
about
had
it.
to like think about that in my
We
head
hate
for
your
a
birthday.
second. How that
Frankie.
would
But now it's a very loud. Yes, very much so. Frankie screwed that up, buddy.
Damn,
You
Frankie.
screwed
Of
that
all the
up.
days
Yeah,
to
right.
give birth.
Him telling that story is pretty funny.
12-month pregnancy.
Him telling that, so like when they went to like the final doctor, it was like, looks like Valentine's Day is going to be the day. It's like, you don't say, huh?
Duck, bigger,
Yeah.
push it out.
Yeah, right. Not the 10th or the 16th.
That's
Gonna go on the
amazing.
14th?
It's the C-section's your thing, right? You get that day, go get it.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. That's interesting.
But it was funny.
But do y'all all celebrate
But
together?
now it's It's
Kosher.
great. Yeah, no,
Okay.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So happy Valentine's Day, y'all.
Happy Valentine's
and happy
Day.
birthday to Jordy's mama
Yeah.
and aunt and sister.
And sister and Frank.
Everybody and everybody.
Anybody else, Frankie?
You have a cousin down.
That's so funny. Yeah. All right, so it's not only Sean McVay that's talking about retiring for the Los Angeles Rams. Aaron Donald, if you saw it last night, Donald is a game record, man. Maybe the best. He's the best I've ever seen.
He almost won MVP at the end of the game.
He should. Yeah, you could argue Cooper Kupp was the MVP last night, and Kupp was, for whatever reason, Kupp is like Josh Reed. He's
open.
always open, like wide open. And he was the MVP after
so white.
2 touchdowns last night for Kupp.
2 tuds,
2 touchdowns.
95 yards.
And really played a hell of a game in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter for him, he blew up. But Aaron Donald was, as we said, Joey was sacked 7 times. Donald had 2.5 sacks yesterday, but just a game destroyer.
Is he the best lineman in history, do you think, in NFL history?
I think he could go. I think Reggie White's probably up there. I mean, there's
Lawrence Taylor.
probably a lot of people. You know, I mean,
Linebacker, best pass rusher
there's
of
probably
all time.
people that, you know, I mean, that's why I hate speaking in the vacuum of even like the halftime show, best ever. I mean, there's have to be people that have come, but there's nobody as good or as disruptive as Aaron Donald has been. I mean, I'm sure that there are people that are as good as Donald, and Lawrence Taylor and Reggie White. Those are 2 guys that just kind of jumped to mind. But I mean, somebody that Glenn Dorsey was like this in college, where he could totally
Change the game.
wreck the game. It didn't matter what was going on, what you were scheming for, who you had at running back, quarterback, wide receiver, all these, you know, shiny parts. The interior of the line of scrimmage was being dominated by
punt.
one person. And Aaron Donald is that dude in the NFL.
But he
Isn't
was
he
cheating.
young
He
to
was
retire?
cheating. Did y'all see this? He was offsides on the 4th and 1.
Damn, he's clearly offside.
Wait, they didn't see that?
No, well, clearly not. And he's got a sack on that play. That's the one where they spun Joe Burrow around. Not a sack, but he flung it out Max Johnson style.
Chill
and he is offsides. Like, if it's the Chiefs and Patriots or Chiefs and Tom Brady, they get that call.
Isn't he young, though, to retire?
He's 30.
I mean, you know, like
No.
he mentioned it. He mentioned it last night. 30 in the NFL is an eternity. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, these dudes' bodies are every weekend they're playing at that rate of speed, and they've been doing it for the last. I mean, if he's 30, he's been doing it for the last 8 years,
Offsides.
Yeah.
7 or 8 years.
Offsides.
And he mentioned in the post game press conference
Jam's open.
that he wanted to spend time with his family. You know, I mean, that he promised his 5-year-old daughter that there would be days that they'd be able to spend together. And, you know, when you got all the money, when you've got a Super Bowl ring, when you've got the accomplishments that Aaron Donald has, I mean, he's got a trophy case that, you know, I mean, is going to amaze everybody that ever sees it. So, I mean, his life after football is always going to be very secure. He's another one that could probably walk into broadcasting if he wanted to, and not make the head coach money just yet, but he would be a draw. I mean, he would be somebody that I could definitely would love to hear either break down defense from a game standpoint or be sitting at a desk and break it down.
You use him like Tony Siragusa back in the day, where you put him on the field and he gets to talk a little lineman, or Jay Feely. He's like the kicker expert. I mean, that was a bust. But Tony Siragusa in the end zone was awesome, and he was breaking down offensive line play like during the game. You could use Aaron Donald like that, I guess.
So Aaron Donald mentioned, like, after the game that he was thinking about retirement. Andrew Whitworth, obviously, I think at 40
Sean
years old.
McVay,
How much
Odell.
more?
He looks
How
so
much
old.
more could
Joe
you?
Burrow.
How much more could you paint the scene on trying to ride out on the sunset if you're Whitworth? I mean, Walter Payton Man of the Year award. You play your former team in the Cincinnati Bengals, a place that you spent 11 years with and was a captain with that franchise. You were drafted by them. You play them in the Super Bowl. You win the Super Bowl. You get your first Super Bowl win in your home stadium in L.A. I mean, the screen and the script has kind of written itself for Whitworth. It feels like this is the end. And then Matthew Stafford, possibly. And I think Stafford probably has a couple of years remaining in the tank as far as being productive. I mean, his arm strength is freaky, but he's played a lot of football. He's got a lot of money. He's now got a Super Bowl ring. He's gone from a pretty good quarterback to now a Hall of Fame quarterback.
And he's got kids. Jesus, did you see the post-game interview?
Yeah.
3 daughters. He was like, you sit right there.
a lot.
You stay right here. He's like, this is a disaster. Like, you don't want your kids up here, dude.
So he's like, I'm going to keep playing football.
Yeah.
I'm not going home.
Kelly, you handle that.
What a year to be a Georgia fan.
I know, right? That's what I was
Got
going
him
to
too.
say.
It was a great year to be a Georgia fan. I mean, you've been waiting 41 years for a national championship, and Georgia gives you one, and then you're maybe one of the best starting quarterbacks in the program's history, a former number 1 pick, a guy that had so much expectation for Georgia, wins the Super Bowl. You could see the weight of the world being lifted off of Matt Stafford, and just like you could see the weight of the world on him, like in the third quarter.
Well, he almost lost
Fourth
the game.
quarter, yeah, he almost
went
did.
He went full Stafford, threw a pick, and was just like, oh, I'm going to do it again.
Full Fred
This
Stafford.
is exactly what I thought I would do. Yes. Yeah. I mean, he does. I mean, if you think back, look at the 49ers game. He just threw up a punt that just got dropped, or else they're not in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And then he does the exact same thing, the pick in the end zone. Then Vernon Hargreaves runs out there, and it's a party. And
Vernon. I mean, what is he
it's only
doing?
10 yards, dude. No big deal.
The Florida Cats, dog. Is this Florida? Something to
Yeah.
the water
What is
down
it? Who threw the shoe?
there. Marco Wilson.
Marco Wilson. They just can't help themselves.
Morales Roll-Offs brings you the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, Morales Roll-Offs provides dumpsters, rentals for residential and commercial needs in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas. You can find them over on Airline Highway. Easy to get in touch with them online at moralesrolloffs.com. Roll-off dumpsters for Greater Baton Rouge. They also offer dumpster rentals, which you can learn about online at moralesrolloffs.com. They got the best prices in town, man. They have very competitive prices. They serve Baton Rouge, Prairieville, Gonzales, Santa Maria, St. Gabriel, Central, all surrounding areas of Baton Rouge. They are also a part of Partners One, so if you're on the Partners One account in business, you can get in touch with Morales Roll-Offs at moralesrolloffs.com. They're in U-Haul rentals as well. If you're looking to move and get some equipment moved, they can get you set up with a U-Haul today at Morales Roll-Offs. We'll talk LSU basketball. John Brady of the LSU Sports Radio Network will stop by here next. We will ask him about LSU Mississippi State over the weekend and what this next couple of weeks, what he expects from LSU as they come down the stretch here, hopefully to put a higher number by their name here in the postseason. John Brady, the LSU Sports Radio Nets.
Next.
Noah, did you have a graphic drawn up for if Jordy lost the bet with his head? You already had it? I knew it. I knew it.
It might be the most liked picture we've ever done.
The most what?
Like most liked.
Oh.
It would.
I mean, it was good.
It was,
It was
like,
good,
kinda
Noah. It looked
viral.
good. I just wondered if you had one
yeah,
for
I
Jordy
mean,
all ready to
you
go
look
as
a ball
well.
player.
I did. I looked like I really know what I was doing out there.
Running third, coming home.
Huge arms.
David.
Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. Do you have questions about your finances? Are you looking for recommendations from a skilled financial advisor? Get in touch with our friend Daniel Newman over at Edward Jones. You can find him easily by logging online and shooting him an email at daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. That is daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. Whether it is help with your 401k or just fiscal advice heading into the new season, get in touch with Daniel today. Best way to do it? Email him, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. He's our experienced financial advisor. Let him be yours, daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. All right, Mississippi State falls to LSU on Saturday night, 69-65, which means that Katie's going to have to wear a Mott's-Hook baseball jersey to Duty Noble for the LSU Mississippi State series. You hate to see it.
Hate to hear
April
it.
8th weekend.
Love to see LSU basketball getting it right, as they were winners of 2 in a row now, 18-7 overall, and now hit the 500 mark of conference play with 2 very winnable games on the horizon, with Georgia and South Carolina on the docket this week. John Brady, a cool moment for Coach Brady and the LSU basketball alumni on Saturday night, as they were remembered in front of the Maravich Center crowd, a nice home crowd, as all eras of LSU basketball managers and players were recognized on Saturday night. It was cool to see some of the faces like Daryl Mitchell and Tyrus Thomas and CT3 being recognized, and good to see John Brady with them down on the floor taking a cool picture that I know he was very proud of that moment. He joins us here on this Monday morning to talk LSU basketball. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Doing good, man. Everything's good. Drinking my coffee and preparing for the Valentine's Day.
All right. It's King of the City of New Orleans. What's planned? Who gets the lucky reservation tonight?
Oh, Nikki and I are going to we're going to go down to Broussard's, go a little bit early and have a nice little cocktail there and have dinner there in the French Quarter.
Nice.
Early.
Give
It'll be
yourself
like
some
6
time
o'clock.
for after. It's a veteran move.
Well, that'll remain private.
Coach, before we get into LSU basketball on the floor Saturday, halftime was a cool moment for you and your crew. I know that you had your responsibilities with the network and were calling the game on the radio, but it was cool to hear Dan Bournet introduce a lot of the LSU basketball alumni, including yourself and some of your former players. That had to be a cool moment for you.
Yeah, that's nice. You know, as Joe Dean used to say, I got to hear the roar of the crowd one more time. So it was nice. You know, the best thing for me about that is to see former players and for them to come back and continue to be involved. And, you know, Coach Wade and his staff have done a good job of reaching out to former players and letting them know how important that they have been to the program to help get it to where, you know, Coach Wade has got it and where he's bringing it to. So all of that's good. And, I you know, the response to Daryl Mitchell being introduced, and particularly Tyrus Thomas, I really felt the fans that were there appreciated what they did, and they showed it by the way they responded when they were introduced. Yes. Dan Barnett does a fantastic job with that, by the way. I thought he does a great job with it.
He does. I mean, for somebody like me who grew up in the Maravich Center, I mean, he's a lifetime voice. I mean, he is. I mean, to hear him call, I mean, I remember him calling Shaquille O'Neal scoring goals, and now to hear him calling Sharif O'Neal scoring is pretty cool for somebody who's been in there for as long as somebody like me, just watching games. On Saturday night, LSU did what they had to do. They beat Mississippi State by 4. They did it with a really solid performance in the first half, and then they were able to kind of scratch and claw their way to victory in the second half. What'd you take away from their win on Saturday night?
We won.
Yeah.
You know, that's the main thing now going down the stretch, regardless of how it happens. You want to score more points than the other guys. But I thought there was a couple of things. You know, we went up 14 at the half or something like that, and then they come back and take a 1-point lead, and then we find a way to win the game the last 5 or 6 minutes. And I think that was a huge step for the team. And I went to dinner with Richard Williams the night before, who, you know, coached Mississippi State for 10 years and took them to the Final Four in '96. And he says Mississippi State has a good team, but they can't seem to make the plays to win on the road. You know, all their 6 losses in the league now have been on the road. And he said, we'll play well, but it seems like we always have a critical turnover. We don't make the right free throw. We don't make the right pass. And something happens where we lose on the road. And that's kind of what happened. Now, you got to credit LSU for doing that. But Mississippi State, what I saw from them is their big guys aren't as athletic as I thought they may be. They look a little awkward and not real athletic like our guys. But even though we're smaller, I would rather have what we have, more skilled guys that are more athletic in the length And I think it showed up during the game. In fact, we completed more plays at the rim than they did. And second chance points was way in favor of LSU than it was Mississippi State. And that's a good thing. It just showed that we were a little more athletic than they were, even though they were bigger.
You coached a lot of good point guards during your day, whether it was guys like Taurus Bright or a guy like you mentioned who was introduced on Saturday night and got a roar from the crowd, Daryl Mitchell. Was there ever a player that meant so much to the lineup like a guy like Xavier Pinson seems to mean to this LSU group? I mean, they look totally different when he's on the floor and looks right.
Well, I think, the 06 team, I think Garrett Temple was something like that.
Yeah.
He made the right decisions. He's a great leader. Players responded to him. He could score a few points, but I think just from an emotional standpoint, he provided a little confidence booster for the team, even though he wasn't the best player. Pinson is not the best player. Eason's the best player, if you're going to go about it like that. But I think there's a comfort level with Pinson in the game, and I think there's a comfort level from the coaching staff, particularly Will Wade, which is the only comfort level that really counts. I think he's got a comfort level with Pinson in the game. And I think Will did a nice job of going back to the original lineup that got us off to a 15-1 start. I think Eason inserted into the lineup was necessary at the time. But I think once Pinson is ready to play, he played 36 minutes, I think, the other night, or 34, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
More so, he played more minutes than anybody else on the team, I think, the other night at 34 minutes. So I think going back to the original lineup, Eason coming off the bench again, which is, to me, is something you have to applaud him for, because everybody wants to start, but he starts and he goes back to the bench and comes off the bench. I think that means the attitude is right and the approach is right, and that he wants to win the game. And it's turned it the last two games, and now they have a really good opportunity to play a 1-9 Georgia team at home to prepare for what's coming up to finish the season. And I think the Georgia game is as important game as any that we played to this point, because it has its own set of circumstances that will carry us down the stretch. So I think I'll be shocked if LSU is not ready to play Wednesday night.
When you had teams that were vying for postseason seeding like LSU does, the better they play, the higher their number will get next to their name in the postseason. Does the pressure ratchet up in the locker room? Do the players feel that?
Well, you try just to carry on, and in my opinion now. I never talked about seeding when we had some good teams that had the opportunity to win more games, the better the seed. I think players are aware of that anyway, and you don't have to tell them. It's all about the next game. Forget what happened in the last game, learn from it, but move to the next game and play it the best you possibly can, and then approach it that way. And I'm big on not building up anxiety within the team and relieving that as the coach, relieving the anxiety that players can develop on their own, because especially today with all the input and the information they do have, I don't think you need to tell them, hey, we win this game, we get a better seed. Let's don't lose this game. I think that creates anxiety that needs to be eliminated, and the head coach can have a part in that.
Impressive stat line for Sharif O'Neal on Saturday night. 14 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 free throws, 8 points, 3 boards. What's he give LSU? It looks like he's a nice spark for them.
I thought he really played well, and I know Will was pleased with his performance. And it just gives you another player to come off the bench. And, players that do come off the bench have to create some positive plays so the head coach can have confidence in putting them back in the game. And I think the other night he put Sharif in the game, and I think he took away some of Fudge's minutes by the way he performed. And we'll see how that plays out the rest of the year. But I was happy for Sharif. He's maintained a good attitude. He's played some games and wouldn't play for a game or two, and then he stuck him in the game the other night. And that means mentally and emotionally he's ready to play. And you've got to compliment the player for that. And it's easy to start every game and know you're going to play 30 minutes. That's an easy thing to do. The hardest thing to do is come off the bench as the 7th or 8th man and be ready to go when the coach calls your name. And you got to compliment Sharif for being able to do that.
Tari had 23 points in 28 minutes. He had 3 3-pointers. How is his game evolving, and What does he mean to LSU down the stretch? How are you seeing teams maybe game plan against him?
Well, I think it's obvious a little bit if you watch it. They're trying to take away his left hand and make him go back, take away his right hand and make him go back to his left. I think they're sitting on his left hand, taking away his drive. But if he can hit enough at the arc or behind the arc like he did the other night and draw that defense close to him, he's got the advantage then. And I thought the other night he may have played one of his better games against Mississippi State consistently. And even the couple of threes that he missed the second half, they were good shots, and he made 2 the first half. And I think all you do as a coach is gauge the quality of the shot. And if your best player is shooting a good shot, that's about as good an offense as you can produce. And so I think the other night, Eason probably played one of his better games. Pinson played 34 minutes. It looked like he didn't favor his knee at all, and those are great signs for LSU with this stretch run coming up after the Georgia game Wednesday.
We have heard Coach Wade explain his best defense is when they're able to set their press, and that turns into really productive offense for them. Can you explain, as they get these numbers back and they get guys healthy, what that enables them to do defensively when they are able to restore the depth?
Well, it's not necessarily they're trying to steal the ball. I think the course of the 40-minute game with the pressure they apply takes its toll. They will create some turnovers during the course of the game by pressing. Mm-hmm. But certainly I think as the game wears on, it takes a toll on the other team simply by keeping the pressure on them. And I think Coach Wade may agree with this, that the last 5 minutes or so, it kind of wore Mississippi State down, and LSU was able to take advantage of that either from the foul line or hitting a big shot on the other end of the floor. But I think this team is healthy now. I don't see anybody that his game has slipped because of the injury. I think everybody's back right on the same page. I believe this team is healthy. Every team has nagging injuries this time of the year. Players just have to adjust and play with those. I think LSU is at that point, and the depth it creates, as you alluded to, O'Neal playing. You have Fudge that's available. LSU has 8 players now, maybe 8.5, and that will certainly bode well for the Tigers down the stretch if someone gets in foul trouble.
What do you make of the league heading into the tournament and heading into postseason play?
I think the league's well thought of nationally. The Big 12 Challenge, LSU. The SEC was able to win that. I think LSU. I think the SEC has beaten some really good teams. Also in the league, what usually happens is teams beat up on each other. But I think there are 6 legitimate teams right now, maybe 7, but 6 legitimate teams that will go to the NCAA tournament.
Coach John Brady on the LSU Sports Radio Network. You'll hear him on the call on Wednesday for the Tigers as they host Georgia, and then on the road at South Carolina on Saturday as the week ahead for Will Wade and his crew, and Coach Brady will be calling all of it. Good to see you on Saturday, man. Safe travels this week. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Jordy. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. There he is, Coach John Brady, checking in this morning from the LSU Sports Radio Network. As we said, we are always brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar when we talk LSU hoop here on the show, as you can get in touch with Anthony and the crew over there in the Southdown Shopping Center over at Phil's Oyster Bar. Every time Will Wade stops by here, John Brady talking LSU basketball, compliments of our friends over at Phil's Oyster Bar, as we are proud sponsors and partners with Phil's and our friends over there. I think some people are pissed off that Burrow did not mention LSU on his introduction yesterday. I think that's the issue.
That's not the woke thing.
Which, look, I don't get. I understand. No, it doesn't make me mad, man. It doesn't take away the days at LSU that he was awesome.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
Still he's in a terrible spot. Because Ohio State's clamoring for him. He's from Ohio, and he's like, well, I kind of like every Ohio State fan's like, kind of wish Joe Burrow was our quarterback, and every LSU fan is like, he's ours. So he's like, what's the best thing I can do? Athens, Ohio. That would just be weird. He's like from Ohio State, LSU.
Did Odell do Him University again?
What's that?
Him University?
Yeah, can someone explain that to me?
What did Odell say?
Him University.
What does that
Hell
mean?
yeah, dude.
What's him university?
Odell.
I'm him, like
I'm
him. Odell's University.
That's it. That's why he says that.
Yeah, like.
And then Jamar said wide receiver university.
That's LSU.
Why? I don't understand. Why can't they say LSU? Like, what's the deal?
They
I know,
can.
like Odell's
They
backstory,
can. It's
but-
just not that big of a deal that they don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could care
it
less.
just,
Not a
it
big
just
deal.
shouldn't be. I mean, it's
But
just
why
not.
say
There's picture proof that
university
they
and
wore
not
the
LSU?
uniform.
Well,
So it
because
don't
when it
matter.
originally started, everybody would say their name and where they went to college,
Right.
and then like what was it? Who was the Ball So Hard University? Who was the defensive? He played for Baltimore. Went to God damn it, what's his name? Don't leave me on this island, Noah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, it was Terrell Suggs for Baltimore. He would used to say Ball So Hard University from Arizona State,
the
but he would
first one
say
that did
Ball
that.
So Hard. And he was the first one that kind of like changed. Like I'm not saying my college, and then it kind of trickled down to I'll say a high school, I'll say whatever, because you get your own moment there. You have 15 seconds in front of the camera. You don't have to say the school. That's what it was originally
but don't you
designed
want
for.
to?
No, that's, you
Doesn't
say whatever
matter.
you want.
Like, kind of who made you and how you got here, like where you played.
That's what
yeah,
the
but I don't think
idea
it's,
behind
it's
it.
not, it's not
Not that big of a
universal.
deal.
I mean, it's
Right.
it's an individual thing, and people
Ball So Hard.
have the choice there. I mean, I think it's more of a revolt, more of the NFL. Like
Yeah.
they try to tell them what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to dress, what time they're supposed to be there, and the more you talk to people in that league, the more that they can't stand that. So any chance that they have an opportunity to be themselves and show personality, they're going to do that. I mean, I don't think that LSU's fan. I think that if you're worried about on Monday morning, if you're really stressing Joe Burrow saying Athens High School rather than saying LSU and starting to change your tone on the way you feel about Burrow, I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Like
You're a cuckold.
You need to find you need to find a hobby.
Wow.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
think
you
people
need,
took it that hard?
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yes.
people are in the if the people are in the chat saying that they're pissed off about it, I would just say, I mean, reprioritize, find a
Yeah.
passion, find a hobby. Don't care that much over stupid stuff like that. I mean, Burrow was LSU's quarterback in 2018 and 2019. It was the best 2-season run at
the best
quarterback
sex you've ever
that
had.
maybe you've ever seen. Awesome. Be good with it. On Sunday, he was playing in the Super Bowl. He nearly won it. If he'd have won it, LSU would have had a game-winning Super Bowl quarterback. And you want to take away how he introduced himself? Like, who cares?
And where was that energy whenever during the Heisman speech, whenever he mentioned Athens, Ohio, and raised a shit ton of money for like the food bank there? Like he's doing this on purpose. Because he wants to know that like, dude, where I come from is impoverished. Like I want people to know I'm from Athens, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's like kind of the LeBron James effect. Like I'm from here,
Right.
and I want to show, like I want to shed light on where I'm from because it ain't pretty.
Yeah.
But you can get out the gutter.
And LSU right now is actually in a window with Odell where, I mean, I think the term was disassociate.
The ban's over though.
Is it the 2-year ban
yeah,
over?
It's over. I was in
Is
what?
it?
It was 2019 to 2021. That would be 2
Was it?
years. Yeah.
Worth it.
Very
Worth
much
it.
so.
Odell
Worth
had a
it.
day
Very
and a
much so.
night.
Yeah.
You don't
Great
remember
night.
the night.
Oh no, not at all.
Are
was
y'all
twisted.
turned off by Odell? Like, are y'all not Odell
I
fans?
love
Turned
Odell.
on by Odell.
No, I love Odell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Odell.
He cried the whole second half.
He was,
Yeah.
yeah.
I would cry. I would
I would have
cry.
cried. I would have cried the whole second
I
half
mean-
too.
Everybody
Because
cried.
like at first he didn't think they were gonna win. Probably.
Well, I mean, I would have cried
'cause he's
in the
having a
simple
day.
Yeah.
fact of I'm an NFL football player.
Having my best game.
I'm a
since I've
football
been here.
player by trade. I'm in the Super Bowl coming off of an injury, and I get hurt again in a game that it looked like he felt
MVP.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm about to go off. They can't check me. And a simple crossing route on a non-contact, and his knee buckles. I mean, you can see his knee give
Yeah, you can.
right there in real time. It's crushing. That is crushing, man. I mean, that sucks for anybody, whether you pull for them or not. I mean, we're all brought to our television set because we love the entertainment aspect of football. And if you want the highest entertainment value of football, number 3 for the Rams needs to be on the field.
God,
And a
it looks
game
so
when
good.
he's not on the field, it brings down the value of the play. And yesterday he was on one. He was feeling it. He was moving around out there. He was jumping over dudes, catching touchdowns. It looked like he was just feeling it yesterday. And when he's right, he's as fun to watch in that league as they can provide. And for him to see that moment, I wonder, really aloud, I wonder if he's done. And I hate to say that about any competitor or even put that out into the universe. But the type of player that Odell is, think about the things that we have seen him do. Whether it be the basketball highlights from Duke University when he was working out with Eli and Peyton a couple of years ago, and he's throwing himself lobs off the glass at Cameron Indoor and like doing 360 behind his head dunks, or catching slant routes on an NFL football field and going 80-plus yards. You know how hard it is to go 80-plus on an NFL football field in anything? And he made that stuff look easy. And 2 knee injuries later on the same knee, he's just not going to be the same dude, man. Derrick Rose couldn't be the same guy after you took his explosiveness away from him, after you took that bounce out of his legs. It's kind of like the end of Russell Westbrook, which we're witnessing now. It's just hard to watch guys of that skill level not look like they're coordinated enough to function out there. And not that Odell is like that, but when you 2 knee injuries later to the same knee in the last 3 years, look at the type of athlete that this cat is. Easy. Look at the way he hits the ground. He just comes down and he just turns around like, what's next? Have you seen the ones from when he was working out at Duke?
That's what I Googled, and that's him at Arizona State.
I mean,
what else can you do? What else do I need to see?
Right. I mean, you've seen enough, but I mean, just.
But did you hear? There was
I hate it for him.
There was a halftime report between him and Robert Woods, who also got hurt the day before he got signed. He got hurt in practice, and they said that he kind of like they sat in the locker together. It's like we're going to rehab together, we're going to get back together. Like he was talking him up because I would imagine Odell was in a spot where he's like, "Fuck this, dude, I'm out. Like I'm done." And he's like, "No, dude, we're coming back. Like, we're both going to come back for the Rams. Sean McVay's coming back. Whitworth is the only one that's probably going to retire. But everybody else, like, all of this talk about retirement is crazy. But you saw it, like, Odell was crying for a full 48 minutes for the second half.
He was.
He's about to
Aaron
become-
Donald was
Loved
crying.
He's about to become a dad,
everybody
too.
was weeping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like this week.
Yeah, like they were saying she might have went into labor during
Wait,
the game.
who was the one
No,
that
that was
went into
Van
labor?
Jefferson.
Yeah,
Van
Van
Jefferson's
Jefferson.
girlfriend
Yeah.
actually went into
She
labor.
did.
And she
right?
delivered the baby.
Yeah.
She delivered a baby boy last night.
He like
But,
ran
I mean,
from
Odell
the
is-
Super
Yeah, he
Bowl,
ran.
I mean,
That was
Odell
awesome.
and his.
Too. Yeah, she's
I mean, they're
close.
like they're watching the clock.
Yeah.
I mean, like they're about to go in and he's about to have his first child. So I mean, his perspective is about to change in life a lot. You know, I mean, something chemically changes in you when you have a child. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. People who have not had that experience compared to people who've had that experience, there's no advice that you can give the other side. Like, I think back on advice that I got before I was a parent from people that didn't have kids, now thinking about the advice I would give people in that same role. I mean, it's just a totally different perspective when you have life changes. There's a chemical change inside of your body when you have a kid. It's just not about you anymore, right? So, I mean, Odell Beckham Jr., which his whole life has been built around making him this premier athlete, all the work, all the time, all the energy, all the effort has gone into making him this just unique, standout athlete. And now he's got mouths to feed, and now his perspective changes, and he's got 2 knee injuries, and he's got all the money he needs in the bank.
In crypto.
It just,
He got $3 million from the game last night.
it'll change. Priorities will change.
I don't want him to be done though.
I don't
I wanna
either.
see
I
more
don't think
from
he's
him.
done.
I don't either. But his game will be. You will
His
never
game's
see
gonna be
Odell
different.
Beckham Jr. like we saw him from 22 to 29.
No.
No,
You know, I
Jamar
mean-
Chase is that now.
Yeah.
That's going to take a slant 90.
Yeah, but he wasn't like Odell.
No.
Odell, for as freaky and as good as Jamar is, and I think Jamar's probably the best wide receiver in the NFL right now, next to Cooper Kupp. He couldn't do.
Unbelievable.
He
4-6
could-
Cooper Cup.
He couldn't
sneaks
do
in.
what Odell could do when Odell was 100% at the height of his powers. Odell was
Peak
that.
Odell is unbelievable.
Peak Odell is scary.
Iowa in the rain.
Scary.
How old is Odell?
Is Georgia back on the kickoff where that ball's screaming through the end zone and he just snags it? I'll never forget the sound of the crowd inside Athens, Georgia that day at at Sanford Stadium when that happened. I mean, was it the opening kickoff of the second half? Mm-hmm. It was the opening kickoff of the second half, and Georgia's place kicker just pelts one through the back of the end zone, and Odell throws his hand up and just catches it with one hand as if it was like a soft toss, as if like the guy just like optioned him the ball. And the entire crowd, 100,000, 90,000 people were like, gasped.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like,
Who was on the call for that game?
it was a CBS Saturday game, so it was Vern and Gary.
One of them said, "Whoa."
Yeah. Look at this. Look. I mean, dude, I wish you could have the sound of it.
Look at the defenders. They're like, did he really just catch it?
I mean, people are like, oh my God.
You should have taken it out.
That was such a good game.
We are
right.
we're
That was the
fire
only
here, but I'm gonna do
year.
it.
What year was this?
This is 2013.
Okay.
This is the only year that LSU in this last 15 years did not have a defense.
Yeah.
This is the only season over the
They
last
needed
15
one.
years
2020.
where I mean
That is
I kind
amazing.
of take 2020 out, you know what I mean? But
It's crazy to watch.
2030, if they'd have had their worst defense, throw out the 2013 defense. That's the worst defense they've had over the last 15 years.
When they did co-coordinators.
If they would have had maybe that 2008,
Who was the guy?
Doug Mallory,
And
Bradley Dale,
PDP.
yeah, Pivito.
God.
In 2013,
Car
they couldn't
salesman.
stop anybody.
No.
And Mettenberger, Juice, Odell, and Jeremy Hill, I mean,
Broke
they had
records.
2,000-yard wide receivers, a 3,000-yard passer, and a 1,000-yard
1,000-yard
rusher.
for the first time
I
in
mean,
school
like
history.
that
And they
is
stunk.
under Les Miles.
2-man routes.
Just yeah, right.
Y'all do your thing. Y'all look good out there.
And if because they took the lead in that game under 2 minutes left. Jeremy Hill scored a touchdown, ran one in, and they had the lead. And like in 4 plays, they just cut through.
Well, Odell dropped the punt.
Yeah, that was the play of the game.
Yeah,
That was the play of the game. But that was in the third quarter.
I know, but
Yeah, that was the play of the game. That was the play of the game.
it's Odell in a nutshell.
Still gotta catch
LSU.
the-
Yeah.
But they still had their chances.
Should have caught it with one hand, I guess.
They still had their chances.
But that team should be. That's a national championship team. Look at who your coach was and what you were doing on offense, and you were still holding him back somehow. Was that Cam Cameron as the offensive coordinator for
Yes,
that
it was.
team?
That was Cam Cameron.
2-man routes. They would put Jarvis on one side, Odell on the other, and say, "Figure it out."
And they would.
And they would. Yeah, Mettenberger.
James Wright was a sneaky good receiver.
Yeah.
Cajun
Cajun
Boone.
Boone got drafted
yeah.
to the Bengals.
Cajun Boone had the first touchdown of that day
Yep.
in that game against Georgia. I
I
mean,
feel bad for all those guys that signed up to play under Les. Malachi Dupree
Malachi.
got ruined.
Yeah. I mean, he put a lot of good careers into the graveyard. Les, not Malachi.
No, Malachi just did whatever, tried his best.
Daily, we're brought to you by Hargrove Roofing, our friend over at Hargrove Roofing. How about Steel Henry?
Steal the steal.
That's right. He does. They don't do repairs, mainly full replacements over there at Hargrove Roofing. They they work with the insurance, and they're experts, so they're helping the homeowner with their claim and getting the insurance to give them enough for the full replacements is what Hargrove Roofing and Steel Henry, our friend over there, specialize in. Get in touch with him by dialing 318-229-7266. 318-229-7266. If you need any roofing done here in South Louisiana, get in touch with our friend Steel Henry. Located and originates out of Lafayette, but works the entire I-10 corridor. Get in touch with him and let him help you out today.
I'm calling
at
him.
Hargrove Roofing.
I've had
Oh.
2 roofers
Wow.
come to my house after the past 2 hailstorms we've had, and every neighbor around me has gotten their roof replaced.
Okay.
And I've only been approved for this little dumb repair. I'm calling the Steel.
Call
Steel.
Their
Steel.
roof replaced.
Call the
Call
Steel.
Steel.
Feel
Yeah,
the Steel.
Steel.
They're insurance experts. You don't have to fight with insurance companies. So
That's right.
Steel does it for you.
They actually got lawyers in-house to take care of all that stuff over at Hargrove Roofing. Get in
Yeah.
touch with Steel Henry. Feel the steel. Call Steel Henry today.
I'm sure he loves that add-on.
Feel the steel.
Get
He
in touch with
texted me
him.
about it.
He did.
Y'all keep it going.
Oh, we
Still
are.
does know his way around the roof. We were in college together. We would get on the roof quite a bit.
Did y'all really?
Yeah, reliefmed.com.
All right, so there is that's a lot what's happening here on this Monday. Thanks for John Brady for stopping by, and then of course Super Bowl Monday here But we will wait and see what some of the news is coming out of the NFL over the next couple. I guess the focus now shifts to draft season,
Draft time.
right? Where
The NFL never stops.
it never stops.
But
Doesn't
football
give you.
season's over. Isn't that weird for us?
Yeah, it stinks.
Like, we
dude.
gotta
go
into basketball and baseball.
Now everybody has to get in the
Sucks.
document because we got to start making some hay.
Yeah, for real. We gotta find something.
What are we
going
to talk about?
Brian Kelly.
Baseball.
Baseball. Oh yeah, I mean, your jersey.
Yeah.
Should we do it? Will that be our first road trip? You think to the dude? We could go live. Those people had
I would
sex
love
in
that.
that room.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
Do you remember whenever they unveiled the suites over there, like the hotel essentially, and somebody broke it in like
Wait,
day
did
one?
you know the couple?
No.
Probably
Oh,
It was
I
her.
I have no idea who that was.
Wait,
Never
what?
heard of it.
Let's get back to football.
But yeah, I
that'd be
definitely
fun.
think that should be our first road trip
I would love that.
to the dude.
Do you feel like you skated by on this?
Yes.
Because it was gonna be
It was going to be brutal.
yeah.
Brutal. I mean, I had so much anxiety.
You should have.
When they came back and took the lead by one, I started thinking, I was like, this can't happen. I mean, this,
Form-fitting Dak
I was
jersey.
I was already thinking of like what
How
my
can you get
out,
out?
what my out is going to be.
Of course.
I wouldn't
But
have
what's
let
it gonna
you
be?
out.
Just, I would have to bounce for a basketball tournament for Jordan that weekend or something. You know what I mean? Like, I
Sign him
don't
up for a
yeah, I
different
just
team.
don't know. I don't know. I can't show up with a Dak jersey.
I mean,
We were
really?
gonna do a live
I mean,
show.
I was gonna
Shook
have,
on
yeah,
it.
no, I was
We
gonna
shook
do it.
on it.
I was gonna do it.
You were
was
gonna
it?
do it.
No, he wasn't.
He
Yes, I
was.
was. I was going to do it. I mean, I had no way out.
You had
No
no
way
way
out.
out. I
I
kind of
mean-
wanted Mississippi State to win because to see how you would wiggle out because I knew that was on the horizon.
Okay, I'm glad to know that now.
Yeah. Oh,
Glad to know how you feel about me, Lloyd.
Oh, like it's a shocker.
Okay, all right. Now we see. Okay.
That's
Okay.
how I make Lloyd pull for Mississippi State.
That's it.
Now I know.
I wanted the form-fitting Adidas
yeah.
Dak jersey
Oh,
on Jordy,
God,
Manscaped
dang.
shoulders. Get him out there for a live show at the Party Box with Jordy in the Dak jersey.
Oh my
That would
god.
have been great.
Instead, we get Katie
Would have been great.
in the Montic jersey.
It was a great social media
It was
photo.
It was
Good job,
cool.
Noah.
Good job, Noah.
It's great.
Very super cool.
super cool.
Framer for me.
All right, enjoy your Monday. We appreciate you being here. As we'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Remember that Mikey Montook Show Mic'd Up is going to originate at 11 a.m. this morning. Make sure that you find them there at 11 o'clock. If you have not subscribed to that channel,
Please do.
make sure you pick up the subscription today. Chad Jones, maybe.
Maybe. Always
maybe.
Chad.
Yeah.
Chad's always a maybe. I mean, this is the same guy that showed up at the fourth inning of the Red Rock and Blue and hit 2 bombs. He showed up late. They put him in the lineup immediately. He hits a yaks one. They're like, "Oh, this is Chad Jones. He's a legend." So he can kind of show up whenever he wants.
Enjoy your Monday. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 7
Happy
a.m.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Is that why
Day.
we're leaving early? I'm about to
Happy
scramble and go
Valentine's.
get Valentine's. And we're
What,
like,
do y'all
crap.
do anything for Valentine's Day?
Oh, really?
Don't do the out to eat thing for sure. I mean, I think that
No.
it's restaurants tonight could. I mean, that's
This weekend, restaurants were crazy.
it's like shopping on Black Monday, Black
Cyber
Friday.
Monday.
So what's the bare minimum you can get away with from your perspective, Katie?
I mean, we just really don't do. I do stuff for the kids.
He's
that's really
asking
it.
for himself right
Yeah, 'cause
Oh,
I'm
you
doing.
do.
I have nothing. I'm not gonna do anything.
Just
Ooh,
send her
shit.
flowers.
Yeah, you're about to be in a doghouse,
Send her
bro.
flowers.
I'm living there, dude. I was born in the doghouse.
Right.
Yeah.
I was born there.
That's where I'm most comfortable.
If you showed up with flowers, she'd be like, "What'd you do?
Yeah.
What
What's
happened?"
today?
Yeah, right.
That's all the advice I can give you. Send her flowers.
Do kids still do this at school? Like
Younger
where?
ones do.
That shit is lame.
Oh,
Really?
Love that.
What a
I
day to
love
flex game back in
Valentine's.
the day.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. It's tough for some
Yeah,
kids. You
you-
got nothing in
yeah.
the stocking or whatever
Yeah.
the hell people
The
do.
box,
Right.
little
Yeah.
mailbox.
I used to send my little crush a little,
No
little
doubt.
candy. You know, a
No
little
doubt.
note on there. Let her know the
I ain't
student
got a
man is
type.
watching.
Well, you have to bring them for the class. If you do Valentine's, they have
You
to
got to
do
do
it
for
for
everyone.
Yeah, you have to do them for everybody.
But there was a time when you didn't.
There
Like,
was
a
some
time
people
when
would
you
get
didn't.
nothing. You're like, oh shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those days are gone. Everybody gets a prize.
trophy.
Everybody. Well, I think. Yeah, I think
Gross.
everybody should though. And
Yeah, for
this one-
Valentine's Day.
For
Yeah,
Valentine's
that's
Day?
Throw them a
heartbreaking.
peppermint.
Well, if you're doing the class,
Yeah. You
celebration
gotta give
for
everybody
sure.
a
no, but you're
I
trying
I thought
to
I thought we were
flex
I thought
a
we were
little.
going I thought we were going significant others.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Young-
when you make your
young
hay,
days.
right? That's when you make your move for significant others is on Valentine's Day. But then if you get
Well,
nervous.
you're talking about if you're still single.
I'm talking about like in like the 4th grade.
Oh, okay.
Like, 'cause
Young-
everybody in school
young
gets
man's
something.
game.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm talking about high school game.
High school game, yeah, I was writing notes in high school.
Yeah,
You're writing notes.
You
Write
do
a
it up in
little
high
note,
school.
yeah.
I always thought to play in high school because I dated a girl that we didn't go to the same school.
Me too.
So you would send them something to that school.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
Whoa, that's a baller
That
move.
is
Yeah.
a baller.
That's
See,
a baller move.
it's a package
Jordan
for you
was-
at the office.
Yeah.
And then they show back into the
school.
class with all their stuff, and they're like, "You crushed it
Colada.
today,
Yeah.
bro."
You
You know what I mean?
died.
'Cause
You get the page. Used to get like because
the
you had
beeper?
the pagers back in the day.
God.
Playing Snake. I'm gonna take this. Hold on.
There were codes.
Did you have a
911
pager?
emergency.
Yeah.
You had a
69. It was on.
It's on and popping.
You know what I mean?
I gotta go,
It was
boys.
on. We're going to smoke cigarettes.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Recess.
6'9".
Yeah.
Right. Oh, right.
No.
Package hit, boys. Package made it to Episcopal.
Oh my God.
Consider a pack of Marlboro Reds.
Right.
She's gonna meet me outside.
Dude, poor Mattress Mac.
I think he's running a grift. He
You
has
think-
to be
you think he wants to
gambling.
lose?
He's moving the line so he can bet it the other way. He has to be.
I mean, he lost $9.5 million.
So he had to bet through somebody else.
You think he's playing it safe on the other side somewhere?
I think he's moving the line.
I agree with that, but I mean, you think he's playing both sides so he doesn't lose?
absolutely. I mean, he hasn't won a bet in 4 years.
You
Right.
can't put that type of money up without like trying to hedge that at least, like trying to get something.
Yeah,
back.
he's doing it for the publicity, and then he's like, actually, I have 15 on the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got 15 million on the other side. He just doesn't tell anybody.
Exactly.
I just sent you Pop's dancing video if you want to try to cue that up before we go.
Absolutely. Did
He
you email
sent
it or
to
text
me.
it?
Texted it. I just
God damn
texted it
it.
to you.
that,
Is
that,
that bad?
Email it.
Okay,
that
I can email
Coinbase
it.
commercial
Hold
got
on.
Well, you don't
20
check your
million
email,
hits.
Yeah, email? Never heard of her. What I was told.
The barcode commercial that got 20 million hits. It
Really?
shut down their site.
Wow.
Really?
What was it for?
Yes.
I don't even
Master
know what
marketing.
it
That
was.
Crypto.
Coinbase. It was crypto. Coinbase.
God damn it. We're late to crypto
We've got
now.
to get into crypto.
Now we're late.
Yeah, I feel.
need
Yeah, I
BG
feel
to
like.
come and
I feel like we're
Way
way
too
late.
Way
Like,
No,
too
we're not late.
We might
That's
be
what
years
David
late,
said too.
but-
No, we're not too late. We're right on time.
Is David in?
No.
Base, like yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And like now it's like
yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably
20
hitting.
million hits.
I know. It's not too late.
Too late.
We're
too
right
late.
where we need
Too
to
late.
be.
I don't even know how to do it. I don't know how to start.
have to learn.
It feels like LeBron's in on that crypto.com thing.
Absolutely. Well, they
Absolutely.
changed his name to Staples
Yeah,
Center.
you
Yeah,
got-
I know that. I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
LeBron was
indeed.
living his. Speaking
He
of
was.
retiring,
He was buzzing.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He
Big
was
white
excited.
guy.
Lakers are
He was-
26
he
and
was
31,
buzzing.
and here's this guy.
dude, they
he's
changed
out.
from the Lakers to the Liquors last night. It was having a time.
He
That was the spot
excited.
to be, bro. I mean, you're a Hollywood A-lister yesterday.
Yeah.
You and your sweet
You have to be
sofa
there. That's
have
what I'm
to
saying.
be.
A-Rod.
Have to be.
I don't think
I
A-Rod
think
was there.
A-Rod was there. He was not big enough to show off.
They
Yeah.
would have
Side.
shown him and then
No
J-Lo.
chance.
and
I think that
Ben.
A-Rod was hiding.
Yeah, he was.
I think he
don't
was
know.
there, but he didn't want you to see him there because everybody else was getting the attention. What the hell
This
is
is Papa
going
Earl.
on over there?
It's Pop's video he sent me.
This is electric.
They spent $14 million on the bouncing square. Garrett Hamilton said
Wow.
That's
Wait, say that
weird.
again?
they spent $14 million on the bouncing square.
How much? I think they got their money back, huh?
Yeah, I feel like they
Good
got their
lord.
money.
Jeez, I know.
What about LSU and the gumbo pot? Are we in on that for LSU
I don't
basketball?
like
I don't know, bro.
I didn't like
I don't like it at
I don't
all.
like it.
I think it's
don't like it.
weird and it just makes
I actually
people
had
be
I
mean.
actually had the view from behind.
Ooh,
What was that
no.
like?
I mean, it's a
Happy
half.
Valentine's
It's a
Day.
half pot. Like in like.
Oh, you can walk.
So
into
everybody's
it?
just like standing on like they had like somebody like on all fours, and then they had like people like standing on their back, you know, like so they could be over the top of the pot, and then there was like a smoke machine, which I thought was a pretty cool accessory.
They need to have something you can stand
But it's a
on.
lot of
People.
effort. It's a lot of effort.
Yeah, you stand on a person?
Yeah, I
No
mean, I was just
way.
the view I got. There was somebody that was down, kind of doing the like stand on the back thing where you
Shadow
raise
back
yourself
out.
up.
Bad. That's bad.
Yeah,
They got to change
Nick was
that.
on percussion.
I bet he was.
Oh, he was? You
Yeah.
saw him out there?
Felt kind of forced.
I agree.
Yeah, it-
The
I
pot.
agree.
Unnatural.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I feel like it makes people
And
just
even
make
like
fun of us more.
Wade like made some comments about it in the post game. Like he had something to do with it. Like they had done something. Like it was like a DD bro. He was like, I mean, I can't tell you what we had to promise in return to do for the gymnastics crowd because we were able to get that from the gym. I'm like, Coach, bro, You negotiating stuff like that in the middle of a tournament run? I mean, like, forget that crawfish pot, dude.
He's probably like, why are you wasting my time with this? Like, this is a meeting? This is what we're talking about today? I'm trying to get
Pop?
Xavier Pinson right.
Oh.
Oh, we got Pop. I'm about to rotate him.
One arm push up.
About to see it.
That was
That's
his
what he did?
that was his go-to.
No way.
Yeah. That was
Wow.
his
He
go-to.
did it.
That was his go-to. And he rocked him. He was sitting with BG courtside.
Oh, awesome.
They were playing cha-cha style.
Oh, he's hit the chopper style.
Yeah. Look.
He did. That is
The
great.
thumbs up one hand. He goes back for more.
That's great.
He goes back for more. They
yeah,
look,
you
they
have
keep
to.
showing. They
It's still
keep
on.
showing.
More.
Yeah, you want more? I'll give you more. Look at Pop.
Thumbs up.
Dang,
The root
wow.
doctor.
Little wide on his base, I think.
That's
You have to.
amazing.
It's hard
Yeah, a
to do.
little too wide on his base, though.
Base might be a little
I
too
mean,
wide.
that is
65-year-old man doing one-handed push-ups, a little wide on the base. No repping him like LaRon Landry.
65-35. That's still wide on the
Look
base.
how happy he is, though.
That is so
Obviously,
great.
very happy. Can you do a one-arm push-up?
Yeah, if you get the
You
wide
can?
base, for sure. We all should be.
With a base
able to
like that, dude, that's a
Dang.
Christmas
That's what I'm
tree.
saying, that's the trick.
I mean, you're holding up a Christmas tree with that stance.
You're trying to look at this man. Look how happy he is. You would have shit on him.
Look at that, dude. Look at that
the
smile.
happiest he's ever been.
Look at that smile.
Tailgate was rocking.
Yes.
For
Tailgate.
Papa.
He had a
Tailgate was
good
nice
day.
for Pop.
Yeah.
He had a good day.
Pastelaya.
Can you do a one-arm push-up?
With that base.
Yeah. Well, that's
I
what
mean,
you have
yeah.
to do, because you have
What
to
do
get
you
your
mean?
balance.
I see your legs have to be spread out
Yeah.
that much to do it.
Well, I mean, a proper one-arm push-up
People will show us.
is a line. I can't. I'm not.
Hey,
but that ain't
hey,
it.
hey.
No, you know you can do it. But you know you can. You know,
We've done
we know
push-ups
you
on the
can.
stream before.
No, is that proper technique? Yeah, I mean, thank you.
I mean, yeah, I would count that.
Sure.
You can't do standard push-up form.
You
Yeah.
can't do like this. You have to lean a little bit.
Yeah. You gotta get your feet a little
Yeah,
bit
I'm
wider.
not talking about the lean. I'm talking about the feet.
You keep them, bring them
Yeah, the feet need to be aligned with your hips. A Marine would not count that.
But Pop did it in front of the entire PMAC, and I say it counts. Right?
I'm not trying to dump on Pop. Just telling you, Lord, if you want a one-arm
Pop
push-up,
jumped
that
on the
ain't
line.
it.
Spice.
Would y'all go? Would y'all do it on the floor of the PMAC?
That's
In front of
No.
everyone?
No,
way.
that move is
No.
retired.
No
You
way.
would. Noah would.
No way.
Would
Noah
you do
would.
it,
He
Stu?
Noah better.
He won't even
that's
do
what
it
I'm saying.
now.
Yeah,
Man, if Noah would do
I
it
could
now,
stand on Noah's
if Noah
back
would-
while he did it,
if
probably.
Noah wouldn't do it now, when would you do it?
Prove it.
Noah, drop down, do a one-arm push-up.
Do
Katie,
it.
stand on
Dude,
his back.
I'm not
Let's
standing
go.
on that child's back. No.
That child.
Child.
I don't think we have enough insurance for
Built-
that.
Guy's built like fucking Ricky Williams. Child.
I'm not about to stand on anybody.
Hang on, hold on, hold up.
Wait,
I gotta get this is why we got the P to Z.
Hold up. Katie, you gonna stand on his back?
No, I'm not. That's way
I'm
too
not gonna
dangerous.
stand on this child's back.
I am not
All right.
about to do that. I could hurt him.
I'll
What
stand
would
on your back.
happen? No.
Oh, the pop.
Wow,
Everything's
what was that?
popping.
That
You're doing
popped?
that on purpose?
Damn, that is a proper one-arm
that's-
push-up.
but
right
look how
there.
hard it was.
No doubt about it.
No way you
No
can do
doubt
that
about
with
it.
someone on your back.
That was
No.
impressive.
That was impressive.
Did you
You're
hear
up.
his whole bones?
You're up.
Yeah.
Well, I would do it like
everything
Pop.
popped.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it?
I mean, I think I
Do
can
it.
do one.
I'm not even trying.
Stu, look at Stu. He's already thinking of his
only one.
excuse.
I'm good.
Okay.
See?
No pain!
I'm so scared watching that.
See?
That was all I got.
Damn it, bro.
You were pushing into your booty so hard. With
Katie,
your
you're up.
hand.
Your turn.
No, I can't do one.
Get up there, Katie.
I was so close.
You were, dude. I could
hate
see it from the
that. Me and Joe
back. The
Burrow.
strain was pretty
She's
incredible.
gonna try.
I'm gonna try. I don't
That-
think I can do it though.
Brian Burgess, no one in the armed forces would recognize popped one-arm push-up. Oh, no, Katie. Goodness gracious. Goodness. Mississippi State fan, ring the cowbell.
Just straight down.
Stewie.
Just straight down. You have to
Stewie's
now.
I failed on the stream. It's okay.
Stewie's good.
It's good.
Stewie's good.
Father of one. I'm sore from just that.
Whew. That's how you pop a peck.
Yep.
It's like Eric Weddle.
That's how you pop a
you
peck
pop a
right
peck.
there.
Eric Weddle playing with a pop peck is unbelievable.
It's
Second play of
amazing.
the game, and you
Playing
can tell.
with the-
Oh, Katie.
I just went straight down.
All right, enjoy your Monday. You can't stretch this thing out over here, man.
I just popped my quad. Fuck.
Make sure to hit that like button, share button. We're back with you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mic'd up, 11 a.m. Somehow I've skated out of this. See y'all.
Happy Valentine's Day. They don't call me Papa for nothing. Look how happy he is.
Pure joy. The screenshot you had it saved on.
It's perfect.
Smile.